Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So in this video, let's learn about SQL. So what is SQL? You know, it is a structured query language. This is mostly related with the database. So we'll see a lot of topics into it, and I'm going to cover all the things into this one video. So we'll see with the installation part, and we'll see with the hands-on experience, like how to write the query, how to execute the queries, and how to edit, modify, all those things we are going to see it. So I have provided you guys the notes as well. So just visit my website arkprocoder.com. So into the blog sections, I have written a particular blog for the SQL. So which is you can see I have uploaded all the notes to you. So we'll see with the hands-on part, and let's start with this SQL. So let's see what is SQL first. Okay, as you know, it is a structured query language, so which is used for manipulate the databases. That means if you want to access any data from the database, we can access it. If you want to modify, that's meaning of the manipulate, like we can do anything with the database, like write the query, execute the query, delete operations, basically a CRUD operation: create, read, update and delete, and a number of things as well. Okay, so let's see what can SQL can be done. Okay, so the SQL is used to write like it can execute the query against a database. So we can write the query, like if you want to fetch the data, we have to write a query. If you want to insert the data, we have to write a query, and almost things this will be going to come into it. Okay, so we'll see what can be done. So we can do insertion, updation, deletion. We can create a number of databases. We can create new tables into the database. We can deal with the stored procedures. We can deal with the triggers, and we can give a permissions onto a table for a specific users as well. Okay, so that all the things we can do it with the SQL part. So we'll see what is RDBMS. So RDBMS stands for Relational Database Management System. So used to like deals with the objects. So when you are working with the frameworks like Python Django, Python Flask, or Node, like if you just with the stuff with the Spring and any other frameworks of any programming language, you're integrating SQL into it. If you're obviously there will be a database into it, right? So when you are using SQL, basically we are going to be deal with the objects. So in Python, we are going to deal everything with the objects. So here we'll be saying some table name. So the table name will be treated as a class name into it. So at that time, that concept we are going to call it as RDBMS. So it will be relations database management system between the tables. Okay, so table is a collection of related data entries, you know, and it consists of the columns and rows. So what are the tables is something like which will be having an attributes over here. Okay, so if I just tell you with one example, so if I just tell procoder.com, if I just go to the contact page, so you can see if whenever I submit a particular data into it, definitely there should be a database connected with it, and inside the database there should be a table, so that I can store all this value, so that I can store all the values whatever I'm passing from the front end to the back end. So these all the values should go into the back end, and it should store it into a database. So in the database, obviously there should be a tables to the table which has attributes like columns of name, email, phone number, and a description. So where it is going to store it. So same way, if suppose if I have a login pages over here, suppose if someone wants to do the registrations, so there should be a different table for register as well to store a database to store the data like name, email, passwords. So there will be a different number of tables into a database, so and which is connected with the different tables. With all those things is going to deal with the objects. That is nothing but a relational database management system, the relationship between the tables and the particular objects. So the main important SQL commands are these are the important commands. So we have a DDL, data definition language. In under this, these all things is going to come, like create is to create a database, drop, alter, truncate, comments and name, and DQL is important, that is a select command, so to select all the records from the database. And we have a DML, data manipulation language, so where these all the things is going to come into the picture, like insertion, updation, delete and log merge. And same way this two is there, so rollbacks, commits and all those things. Okay, these are all the important SQL command types. Okay, so now let's see how, as I said you, how it is going to work with the website. It is going to work in this particular fashion, right? So and then let's see with the installation part, and let's move on to the coding part right now. Okay, so first we had to go to the mysql.developer.com, so to install the things. Okay guys, so we'll visit to a website that is dev.mysql.com. So where we are going to install MySQL installer. So from there we are going to install MySQL shell and a workbench and MySQL connector like that. Okay. So we have to visit that is dev.mysql.com. So just go to the download section. So here if you just scroll down here, we have a MySQL community downloads. So click on to it. So then just click on to the MySQL installers for Windows. So once I click on to this, so it is going to give me this page. So just try to install. This is 437 MB is there, right? Install this particular MSI installer. So once you have installed, so then we are once we download it, then we can begin with the installation part. So I have already installed over here. So let me show you here. So that is MySQL installer. So once I just double click onto it, it is going to open the particular thing over here. So once it is open, so it will be going to, or it's going to open you the MySQL installer. So it will be something like this. Okay, it is going to be something like that. So I'm just going to click onto the custom installation, then I'm just going to click onto the next. So here we have to select as a MySQL server here. I'm just going to click, I'm just going to send it to the right hand side over here. Okay, so I'll just select here. So I'm just going to send it onto the top, that is MySQL 8.0.2. so once it is done, so now I'll come back here. So then there is a one more thing called as a MySQL applications are there. In the application, just install this MySQL workbench and just click on to right side, so it will be done. So then MySQL install SQL, there is one more called MySQL Visual Studio Code. If I just open, so already it is there. In your case it is there, you just take this as well. Okay, so then there is a one more important, that is a MySQL shell. So in the MySQL shell, I'm going to just take this one. I'm just going to put it at the right hand side. Okay, so then just click on to the next. Then it is saying me already it is exist over here. Okay, so I'm just going to click on to the next. So it is just going to tell, it is giving me warning something like, okay, it is already present in the program file. So let me do one thing. So I'll just go to the C drive. So actually this I'm installing after the entire course has been recorded. Okay, so I wanted to tell you this one. So I need to delete the existing SQL. So I'm just going to delete this MySQL over here. Okay, so it is going to give you the continue. So I'm just going to delete it now. So it's got deleted. Yes, it's got deleted. Now it is going to take it here. Okay, it took. So now in your case it won't get. So I'm just going to click onto the execute over here. So I can see it is saying me it is installing the SQL server. It is going to install me the workbench and it is going to install me the SQL shell over here. Okay, it is going to be take little bit time based on your internet connection. Okay, so let's wait for it. Okay, you can see it's got installed. So I'm just going to click on to the next. So then I'm just going to click on to the next, keep the default configuration, click on to the next and use the next. So here we have to create a root password, which is going to you remember. Okay, so whatever you have to give a root password that you have to remember at the time of the login. I'm just going to create my root password over here. So okay, then I'm just going to create. So once I create the root password, so it is telling me what okay, something is wrong. Let me tell. Okay, now it is correct, I guess. And I'm just going, it is showing me. So I'll just click on to the add user. So what is this? So it can add the username as well. So basically it is going to give you the root password here. So what is the error? It is saying the password do not match. Okay, so let me cancel again. Just going to click onto the back again. I'm just going to click onto the next. So I hope the caps lock is not on. Okay, okay, so it is telling me weak password. It is fine. I'm just going to click onto the next. I'm just going to click onto the next and execute. Okay, so it is going to execute all the things, whatever the configurations is going to be inside. It is going to set it, and all the thing is been going to set it into your C programs over here. So in the programs files, the MySQL is going to create. You can see the folder got created here. Okay, so where it is going to do all the configuration, then we have to log in from there. Even we can log in through the MySQL workbench after the installation part. Okay, so that is what this is how we can install the particular MySQL server over here. Okay, so after installation of the SQL, so after installation of the SQL part, so we have to see where the exactly SQL has been stored. If I just open a documentation, so or if I just go to the desktop here, that is nothing but into a C drive. So just go to the program files, then you have to go to the MySQL, which we have recently installed. So after installation, I'll just go to the MySQL server 8.0 and I'll just go to the bin directory. So you can just copy this entire path. You can just press Ctrl C, copy it, and just open the particular command prompt. So after operation of the command prompt, so this is the command prompt which is getting open. So here I'm just going to I'll just tell cd, that is change the particular directory to this particular directory. If I just enter, you can see I'll be entering into the C drive, program files, and MySQL server 8.0 and a bin directory. This is a one way of opening it. So if you want to open in a shortcut, just click onto this somewhere here. So it is going to select and just replace with the cmd command. So once you enter cmd, so you can see I'll be getting this kind of window over here. Okay, so let's see how we can connect with the database. So once we have set, so definitely we have set the particular root password, right? So for that I'll just tell MySQL -u is nothing but a root. I'm just going to tell root, and I'm just going to tell -p, enter it. So it is asking me what is the password of it. So I have set it as the password. I'm just going to give my password and enter it. So you can see once I enter, I'll be redirecting to the MySQL terminal over here. Okay, so this is how we can enter into the MySQL server, like the MySQL particular command prompt. So I'll just going to minimize it. So there's one more way. So if I just, after downloadation of everything, you can search for the MySQL workbench here. So in your thing, if you search like this, if I just open it, so the particular the database UI pattern is going to get open over here. Let's see how it is going to look. So it is, what are the commands I am going to run. Even I can run all the commands into MySQL terminal as well. Same commands even I can execute with this particular MySQL workbench as well, which we have installed. So here you can see here it's asking me local instance MySQL 80. So if I just open this, so it is going to ask me the password. So I'm just going to give the password. So whatever the password I have created it. So once I have opened it, once I give the correct password, so I'll be redirecting to the MySQL workbench over here. So you can see this is our MySQL workbench. So where I can just see all the, I can run the queries and all the things over here. So now if I just enter a command, that is show databases. What is this command? It is a query which is going to, whenever I execute this particular show database query, it is going to tell me whatever the database names present into your server here. So if I suggest execute here, you can see there is a current shock, right? If I just give the current shock for this, you can see I'll be getting the show databases content over here. You can see I am having these many data types here. So these are the recently which I have created in the previous time. So that is infamy, I have created a RIA, I have created a test, like that. So whichever the databases names you will be creating it, all the database information is going to show it to you here. So it is little bit small. So what I am going to do here is I will be writing the queries here. Okay, I can write the queries here. Select star from and all. Like for the insertion I am going to use, and for creating a database table I will be using this particular UI pattern. To see the data I will be using this one, so that I cannot zoom this one because it is very little bit small, so that I can just show you with this particular MySQL visually. So if I just enter the same command, that is show databases here, and if I just enter it with the semicolon, so you can see I'll be getting all the databases here. So I'm having infamy, I have a SQL, I have a RIA, I have a test. These are all the database things over here, right? This is how we can see all the database, how many databases are present. Now I want to create a database. I want to create a new database. So I'm just going to write a command, that is create a database, create a particular database. So you have to give the database name. So suppose I am going to give the database name as, so what I can give the company, I'll just give it the database name as company. Okay, so the database name I have just given as a company. If I just enter semicolon and enter, you can see one query is got affected. Query is okay, syntax is okay, and row is got affected. Now I want to see what all the databases are there into again. So if I just run the, if I just press above arrow key into a keyboard, the arrow key on the top. So if I just enter above, you can see whatever the commands I have executed, I can able to see it. So I'm just going to tell show databases. If I just enter command, so you can see I have a company database is got created over here. So this is how I can create a database over here. Even I can delete a database. So we have a RIA, right? So I have a RIA here, I have infamy. So if I want to delete it, so I can just say something like, I can just tell here drop the particular database, and I need to give the database name which you want to completely drop it. So if I just give it as a RIA and enter, you can see the two rows are affected. So the RIA database is got deleted. So now even if I just tell again drop a particular database, so I want to drop the database, that is infamy. If I just enter the command, you can see it has been deleted. The database got deleted. Now if I just again run the command that is show databases, you can see only I have a company and I have the other databases names over here, and whatever the ria infimi was there, it got deleted because of this particular command. So like this we can enter it over here. Suppose if you get exited from to this particular command prompt, suppose think you have gone into it, so again you have to go to the same path, that is a C drive program files, and this one you have to enter cmd command prompt. Then after entering into the cmd command prompt, same thing I need to enter it. So what is the command? That is mysql, that is the -u, that is a root, and give the -p, that is for the password. Enter the password whatever it is there. Once I enter it, you can say I'll be getting into the command MySQL command prompt. Now if I enter the command that is show databases, so you can say I'll be able to see all the databases now. So same way, now I want to use a specific database. So I want to use a specific database now. So to use the specific database, I need to run one command that is use. So I'm going to tell use the database name that is company. Okay, I'm going to use the database name that is company. So without using a database, we cannot create. Now why I'm using the company database here is I need to create a tables. I want to create a number of tables into it. So first I need to specify which database you are using to create a tables. For that I'm going to use a company over here. In MySQL, there is no case, it is case insensitive. So it means you can use the capital letter even you can use the small letter or a capital letter, whichever you use, it doesn't matter. The matter is only the whatever the word you have been using. So if it is a company, if it is in the caps or a small, it doesn't matter. That is nothing but a case insensitive over here. Even if I just use same thing, even you can say I'll be getting a same output. Database is changed over here. So like this I can use the number of things over here. So once I have been used, so let's see how to create a database table. So let's come back to the website. So let's see what all the things we can. So we saw how to create a data, show the databases, and we saw how we can create a database. I have written all the things into the theory part, and we saw how to drop a particular database. We saw now we'll see how to execute a particular query now. So I want to give you the notes as well. Because of that, I'm just going to create one particular folder. So I'm just going to create one new folder. So the folder name I'll just give it as a SQL. I'll just tell SQL practice. Okay, for the practice purpose I'm just going to use this one. So this folder I'm just going to open with the Visual Studio Code. So I have the VS Code. So just for typing it. So okay, see why I'm using a VS Code or any text editor like a Notepad or a Note++, I'm just going to tell you here right now. So here I'm just going to change the particular theme to. So I'm just going to change the particular theme to here as a Dracula. Fine. So I'm just going to create what? I'm just going to create a data.sql. I'm just going to create a file name that is data.sql over here, so that I can write a queries over here. Okay, so that I can give you the notes and we can execute the queries easily from here. Okay, so here coming back to the website, so here we'll see how we can create a database table. So that I'm going to explain you. First we had to write a command, that is I'm just going to use the caps, that is create. So I'm going to use everything I'm going to use it for the capital letter over here. Okay, so I'm just going to follow one particular naming conventions. So I'm going to tell create. So I'm just going to say create a table. So this is a syntax we had to give, create a table, and I need to give you the what is the table name. Okay, so when you can write anything, you can just use like this as a create a particular table and a table name. That will be the syntax. So table name, I'm just going to create a table name as contact. So I'm going to create a database, a table name as contact. So I'm just going to open that thing into the parentheses over here. Okay, so I said create table contact. So once I created a contact, what all the attributes you want, what all the columns you need to have. So I'm just going to tell I need to have a ID column, that is a type of integer value. Okay, I'm just going to put the comma. So now I need to have one more thing, that is name. So I need to have a name, that is the data type will be a where character. So it can hold up to 25 characters. I'm just going to specify over here. Okay, so I'm just going to do it like this. So once I done, so I'm just going to enter again. So contact ID name. So I'm just going to, I need to have an email. So I'm just going to tell email is equal to. So again, I'm just going to give the where of. So that is, I'm just going to keep the 20 character. So then email is done, name is done. So I need to take the phone number as well. Right? So I'm just going to tell phone number. Phone number will be the So obviously a phone number will be a very big character. So even I can just use same thing, that is where character. It can handle, it can take up to 10 particular characters. So whenever we give a integer, it is going to take only integer values. As you know, when we specify a where character, that means it is going to take only the particular string. It can be anything. It can be a number or it can be a characters wise, like that. So name, email, phone number and description I added. So I'm just going to put the comma, then I'm just going to have the description. I'm just going to tell I need to have a description. So the description will be again, I'm just going to give a where character. It can handle up to 100 characters. Okay. So like this, we can able to create a particular database table, and always it is going to end with the semicolon over here. Same thing, even I can type it directly here. Even same thing, I can directly type it here. So whenever you type, so see if I just type table, suppose if I just tell tables here, if I just enter, so obviously it is a table. So I cannot go revert it back. So because of that, this kind of things will come. So because of that, it is a better practice to create type it somewhere into a notepad or a notepad++, or directly type it here and execute the queries. Okay, if you use it into the command prompt, it sometimes if you do mistake, it will be really difficult to rectify it. Okay, suppose if you are typing here, if you stuck somewhere, just press double time 2 times colon and enter it. Okay, semicolon, you will come back to the SQL part over here. Okay, so like this. So coming back to this, so I'm just going to execute this particular query. I'm just going to execute this query into my command prompt itself. First, I'm going to execute here. Okay, so I'm just going to tell create table, contact ID is an integer, name is a where character, and email is a where character, and the phone number is a where character of 10. Description will be this much. I'm just going to enter it. So once I enter, you can see this particular query got executed, and your database table, that is contact, is been created. So where it is created, we have said use the database, that is company. Into a company, the particular table is got created. Now if I want to see exactly whether the database table got created or not, so you have to enter a command, that is show the table. So if I just tell show tables and enter, you can see tables in a company database or the content. So it is giving me the tables, whatever it is present into a database table, that is company. Okay, so like this we can create a database table, that is contact. So once database table contact is created, now I need to insert few of the data. Before inserting it, so let's see how we can see here I have said SQL desc statement. So desc is used for describe the table, column and structure of it. It is going to describe the tables and a columns and a structure of the particular the database table here. If I just come back, if I just tell here desc of a table name, that is contact, so you can see I got all the field types, and I got what are the type of it, and it is telling it is a nullable value can be S. Okay, so it is telling it is a nullable value will be the S, and the default value will be a null values. So it means like it is just giving me the structure of your database, that is nothing but a contact over here. Okay, so next we'll move on to how to insert a data into it. Okay, so let's insert the values into a database table, that is a contact. So how we can insert, let's come back to here. So I'm just going to insert here. Okay, so I'm just going to say you the how it is going to be the structure, the particular syntax. So I'm just going to tell there will be an insert command. We need to use insert. So I'll just tell insert into. So I'm just going to tell insert into. So which is the database table name? So the database table name will be the contact over here. So I need to specify the columns. So there are two types how we can insert the particular data into it. So before telling you it, so you can see we have the SQL constraints. So the SQL constraints are used to specify the rules for data into a table. So here we saw we have specified the rules here. So we have specified some rules that it can be up to 25 character itself, and that is something we call a constraints, and along with that there are a number of things are there. So there are something you can see here, there is a not null. Not null means whenever I specify this particular table, if I just specify here as a that if I just specify this particular table as a not null, that means this table cannot have a nullable value. Okay, so that is what. So this we'll see with the coming example as well. Okay, so this is just understand. So we have not null, unique means it should be a unique value, primary key means it should be a system generated, or it will be a unique value for each record, so that I can retrieve a particular information by giving a primary key value to it. Foreign key is something like it is linked between another table. It is a duplicate of your primary key. Okay, so these two things we are going to see very broadly in the coming video. So there is, understand these all the constraints. Okay, so there is a check for checking the specific condition, default to store a default value when we are giving a null values, and we have a create index to retrieve data information very quickly. So this will be the constraints into it. So we'll see everything with an example. So now auto increment mode. So we have something like, so let's insert I'll just tell you the auto increment in coming session. So first we'll see how we can insert a data into the statement. So there are two ways to insert a data. So one is giving the column names and giving the particular values to a particular column respectively. Second, just specifying a values to the table name. So when you are using a second way, it is compulsory you had to specify all the values along with the columns whatever it is present into a database table respectively. You cannot skip any columns. But whenever you are using an insert operation, just we can give a normal insert queries like that. Okay, so first we are going to see with first example here. So I'm just going to tell you insert into contact. So I need to give a provide a ID. I'll just tell ID is there is a name, there is an email, there is a phone number, and there is a description over here. Okay, so these are all the three things we have, four things we are having it. So along with this, I need to specify that is values here. So in the values, I'm just going to provide ID. So I'm just going to give a ID is integer. I'm just going to give it as a 1. Second is a name, right? So name is a var character. So that is basically it is a string. We have to specify into a single quotes. That is a string. So in this string, I'm just going to tell name. So what is the name? I'm just going to give my name here. I'll just give the email. I'll just give some dummy email, ark@gmail.com. I'll give some dummy phone number. So it is a var character, right? So I need to give it into the single quote. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then description. I'll just tell I like teaching something. Okay, so this is how one data has been inserted. So it is going to end with the semicolon. Now I'm just going to execute this query. I can just copy this. Even you can execute the query here as well. Even you can execute the query into this MySQL query as well. I'm just going to tell here use the particular database which is company. I need to use the database that is company. Execute the query. So it is use the company row affected. So after using it, I'm just going to specify these values here. So I'm just going to tell insert. So I'm just going to tell here insert. So sorry, if I just show you here, you can see it is telling me insert into a content, and I am specifying the values to it. That is whatever the values has been specified, that is going to get executed, and as given the end at the semicolon. If I just execute this query, you can see one record is inserted. You can see one row got affected. So you can execute your query from here as well. Even you can execute the query from this particular database table as well. Okay, so whichever you want, it's your choice which you are using it. Now I just want to insert few of the data. So I'm just going to insert some 7 data like this. So I'm just going to insert some this 5 data over here. Okay, so how many we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, and again I'm just going to copy same line below. So here I'm just going to change the ID names here. So here the values are there. I'm just going to change it to 2. So here I'm just going to change it to 3, and here I'm just going to change it to 4, and here I'm just going to change it to 5 here. So here this Anis is there, right? I'm just going to change it with I'll just tell Rohit here. Okay, so I'll just tell Rohit @gmail.com over here. So this time I don't want to give any number. I'm just going to keep it as a blank. I'll just tell I like Java here. The same way I'm just going to tell here as one more, that is I'll just tell Rohan over here. So I'll just tell copy this command. I'm just going to give the email, and I'm just going to change the name, the number to it. I'll just tell I like Python here. Okay, this is the one. So again I'm just going to tell here Rohan. I'll just tell here Meghna here. So I'll just tell copy this. I'm just going to change her email. I'll just give some random number. So I'll just tell I like sleeping something. So I'm just going to create one more record that I'm just going to change it to here. Suppose if I just give one more record as Amruta here. Okay, so I'll just tell copy the name. I'm just going to change it here, amruta@gmail.com. So here also it is not a case sensitive. Okay, even this is case insensitive. I'm just going to remove here number. So I'm just going to remove this particular thing over here. Okay, so like this. So I'm just going to save it. Now I want to execute this query. I'm just going to copy this query. So I'm just going to execute. I'll just right click. If I right click, it is going to paste it. Okay, I think it's not got copied. I'm just going to copy it again. Again, I'm just going to right click. You can see query got inserted. Again, if I enter, even the query got executed. Same way, even you can execute all the queries here as well. Even you can execute all the queries here when you paste here, and when you have to execute here from here, okay, the query will get executed. So it is your completely your choice where you are going to execute the queries. Okay, so now coming back to one more thing. Suppose I want to insert a specific column itself. I want to insert a specific column. So I can just tell I want to just insert into contact. I want to just insert into contact. So I want to insert the ID. Then I want to insert only the name. So I don't want to insert phone number, email, and description. Okay. So for that, I'm just going to provide two columns, and I'm just going to give the values. So I'll just going to provide the ID, that is 6. So I'm just going to provide a name is equal to Aditya. So I'm just going to provide these true columns. So like this also, even we can specify. If I run this particular query, insert into contact, ID and a name, values for the ID will be 6 and value for the name will be Aditya. When I enter it, you can see query will get executed. Even though if I am not passing any of the column name specifically, like the email, phone number, and description, the default value, it is going to store it as a null value. Okay, when you are not passing it, it is going to store it as a null value. Here I am not storing a null value, I am just storing an empty value. So there's a difference between an empty value and a null value over here. Okay, so like this, we can insert a data into the database table, that is contact. And one more thing, why I can leave it is as a blank, because I have not specified any condition into my contact table that name should be a null or not, it cannot be null, like that I have never specified. So because of that, it is going to accept the null values as well. Okay, so like this is how we can insert a specific data into the database. Now coming back to the another command, that is the SQL select statement. Now we have inserted a data, right? So I want to see what all the data we have specified, what all the data is present into our database. So what is the command? So let's tell select star. I'm using select star means get all the record from the database. I'm just going to select star. I'm just going to tell from a database table name. What is the database name? Is company. Database company table is contact. So I'm just going to tell select star from contact is our table name, right? So if I just execute this query, so you'll be able to see all the records. You can see I got all the records from here. Same way, if I just copy this, I'm just going to specify this particular query here as well. Select star from contact. If I specify here, select star from contact, you will be able to see more clearly. So you can see I have IDs, name, email, phone number, and a description. You can see all the records, whatever I am passing it, all the records is being stored. And even you can see I have IDs and I have a ID, that is a name, email, phone number, and a description. This is how we can select all the records from our database name. So if you want to specifically, you want to get all the records from the contact which has only name and email. So I can just tell somewhere like this, select. So I can just tell select. I want to get all the records, select star. So not star. So I need to just tell select the particular email address and a phone number from the from database table name, that is contact. If I enter, you can see I'll be getting only what the selected record, that is email and phone numbers from the contact. It's getting me all the record over here. So like this, we can specify all your you can specifically get the email, phone number from the records as well. Okay, so then if I just select, if I just want to get only what I want to just only get the ID and a name, so I can just select ID comma name from the contact table. If I enter, you can see I'll be getting only IDs as well as names from the particular database. This is how we can select a specific columns. So what is this ID? ID is a column name, right? And it is a name is a column. So if I just say something which is not present, if I just select ID, name, comma, DAS a dash, enter. So I'll be getting error. Unknown column dash into a field dash. Basically a dash is not present always. It is giving me the error. That is nothing what is meant by dash is asking me. Okay. So like this, it is about the select query over here. So now we'll see what is the select distinct statement. Suppose think I'm just going to insert one more data here. I'm just going to insert one more data with the same name. That is, I'm just going to tell 6. I'm just going to specify ID, that is a 6. So now I'm just going to give the name as Akhil here. Okay. So I'm just going to insert one more data, insert into ID name. So I'm just going to provide one more, that is I'm just going to give the email as well. So I'm just going to give it the email to him, that is akhil@gmail.com. Okay, so let's provide these 3 values for this database. I'm just going to copy it I'm just going to insert that thing into a database. It is selected. Now if I just enter select star from the content, you can say I'll have a Akil here and Akil 6. I am having almost all the data here. So I want to execute again the same. Okay, you can see what is the one thing is common here. So you can see their ID is the same, right? So you can see ID has specified 6 and 6 here. You can see IDs are same 6 and 6. If I just select something, if I just select distinct, I'll just use that is a keyword that is DISTINT. Distinct spelling is correct, right? I don't know what is the spelling. DISTINCT. Okay, not TINT. DINCT. Distinct ID from that is contact. If I enter, you can see if I enter and if it will come coming into the new line, if I just enter the new column, you can see it is going to give me the IDs, only the real ID is going to do 1 2 3 4 5 6 only. So you can see we have two IDs, right? 6 and 6, but it's going to give me the only specific ID over here. If I just specify again, if I just tell here again, select distinct ID comma name from a table that is contact. If I specify, you can see whatever so if I just select the distinct ID comma name from a contact, basically it is giving me all the rows. Why? Because there is a name, it is not a distinct value. Okay, so when it is a distinct, so it is going to give me the one particular value itself. Okay, so now which one will be the stop? So if I just tell select ID comma name, basically it is used to get a, like suppose there will be different, there will be 1 to 200 records. It might be n number of multiplied IDs will be same for particular users. So at the time I want to see how many unique IDs are there. So that time I can use the select distinct ID from a particular table like that. Okay, I'm just going to specify this particular command into your notes. So this is going to give you, this is going to help you a lot. I'll be going to give you this entire stuff. So now coming back to your next concept, that is where clause. So I want to use a where clause here. What is where clause? So where clause is used to filter a records. So basically to filter a particular data, I'm going to get my data. Suppose if I go to somewhere to my get into create a bank account, or I have created a bank account. Suppose think like I have forget my account number or anything. So there should be something, right? So there where I can find my record. So they can say, okay, tell me your Aadhaar card number. If I just give my Aadhaar card number, they can easily fetch it over here. So how? At the time of insertion, they would have taken my Aadhaar card details as well. So using a Aadhaar card number, I can fetch enter my bank account details like that. Okay, so such kind of things in the real world. So if I just use a where clause, I can use the filtrations and get the specific record to it. So let's see how we can be there. So you can see it will be record something like select. I want to just select. I'm just going to write here. Okay, select. I want to select everything from a database table that is a contact. I'm just going to tell where I want to check where ID is equal to 6. So that means I want to select all the records whose ID is equals to 6. If I execute this particular query into my command prompt, you can see I'll be getting all the records where ID is equal to 6. You can see I'm getting a 6 over here. I'm getting their particular details like this. Same way, if I just try to say select star from contact where name is equals to, specifically I'm just going to specify name is equal to Meghana over here. Okay, if I just copy this command and if I just show you here, if I just right click and enter it, you can see I'm getting a specific record of the Meghana over here whose ID is 4 and whose name is there. So we can pass any of the information along with the column name to get a specific details from the users. Okay, so this is how we can get it. So name, same thing. If I just tell here, if I just tell select a name comma email comma description, I want to get name and email comma description from, I'm just going to tell from that is a from contact where the particular email is equals to yark@gmail.com. Okay, if I specify like this, very specifically, if I just copy this command, I'm just going to put the semicolon. If I just copy and if I right click and enter it, you can see I'll be getting Anish at and I'm getting only a name, email and description. Same way, if I want to get it same again, so we have some nullable values, right? So we have some nullable value null. So if I just tell here select star from name, email and description, I want to get I want to get all the data. So let's tell I want to get all the data, that is a star from content where that is the phone number is equals to, if I specify the phone number is equal to null, I'm just going to give it as a null. whose phone number is null. If I just copy and save it here, you can see if I just enter it, I'll be getting an empty set. So basically, if I just come back here, so you can see the phone number is null. So basically we have two nullable values, right? But even though it is not coming, why? I think I need to provide something like, if I just give it here empty, I'm getting, right, phone number. So select star from the content. If I just give it as null null, now even though it is coming null, okay, if I just give it into a single quote like that, even though I'm getting null, I don't know why it is getting. So I think I cannot get the data with nullable values probably, or might be, okay. And it will be something, might be, see, there is a MySQL is there, SQL is there, Oracle SQL is there. Some of the little bits differ. It will be difference in the syntax as well, okay. We have to care about that as well, okay. So the one thing is not getting it, fine. This is about the where clause now. So we saw creation, we saw read operation, and we saw the insertion operation as well. So now we'll see how we can update a specific record from a database. So I want to specifically, you can see I want if I just tell here select star from the table name, that is a contact, enter it, to have this much record. Now I want to update the Rohit information phone number over here, okay. So I'm going to tell here, so let's tell select, not select, I'm just going to tell here new operation, that is update a particular table name, that is the contact is our table name. I want to update the contact name, so I need to use a set operation. I want to tell set the particular phone number is equals to, I'll tell 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. I want to update the phone number to this, okay. And along with that, I want to update his particular name as well. Name is equal to, so the old name is what, Rohit, right? So I'm just going to tell here Rohit Sharma. I'm just going to tell update it to Rohit Sharma. Select contact, set the particular phone number to this, and name is equal to Rohit. I'm just going to use a where clause. So I need to get the identifier, right? So for which particular record I need to update it. So I can tell where name is equal to Rohit, or where name is equal to email is equal to this, or description something. So I can tell simply ID, I can use it, right? So I can use the ID here, right? So I'll just tell where ID is equals to 2. So it will select the ID is equal to 2, and it is going to update this particular information to it. If I just execute this particular query, and enter it, you can see one query got affected. Now if I just get all the data, select star from contact, you will be able to see the Rohit is being changed to Rohit Sharma, and you can see I'm getting this particular record over here, okay. So like this, I can update the values. Same thing, let's try to update one more. That is, I'm just going to tell I want to update a phone number to something like this, 888 something, and I want to update this to I'm just going to update this to ARK Pro folder here, okay. So I'm just going to update this particular value to this. So I'm just going to here ID is equal to 6. Let's see one thing you can see here, there is a two IDs with the same ID, that is 6. Let's see which is the record is going to update, okay. So now if I just copy this update command, and if I execute the query, okay, not quite copied, let me get it again. If I just control C, now if I just right click, and if I enter it, you can see query got executed. If you can see there are two rows got affected. And if I just tell select star from contact, you can see both the rows is being changed here, okay. So that means it is going to affect for the both the rows now. So this is how we can able to do the updation for it, okay. So same way I'm gonna give the Amruta's detail as well. Let's see, Amruta is a name, right? So I'm just going to come here. So again, let's tell I want to update a contact where set the particular name is there, phone number I want to set it. I'm going to tell 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. So then I want to update Amruta's phone number, and I want to update the Amruta description here. So let's tell description is equals to, I'll just tell I like cooking, okay, something. So and our particular email, I'm taking her particular email. I'm just going to tell here where particular email is equals to this particular email, okay. It is going to search for this particular email, and it is going to set the new data, and it is going to update your contact table. If I just copy, and if I just try to right click and enter it, we can see the particular thing is been getting changed over here. You can see update contact is been getting it here, okay. So like this we can do the update operation. So even if I just tell select start from contact, you can see Amruta's detail is also got updated. So this is how we can update a specific details like that. Okay, so now if I just tell select a distinct record, distinct record from content. If I just enter this command, it will give me the error because I have to just select distinct. I think you can, if I give star, whether this work, yes, this will work. Select star from the distinct record mode, you can see I'm getting all the record over here. Okay, so which is having a distinct record, and even you can see because why it is giving same value, because you can see email is not same here. If suppose the email was of the 6th record, email was the same, whatever it was there, so even I would have get only one time the data. Okay, so this is how the things will work. Now this is about the updation operation. Now let's see with the delete operation. Now I want to use a delete. We have to use a command that is delete a table name that is a contact. I'm just going to tell delete a contact. So then I want to say delete a, I need to use delete. Okay, delete the particular contact. I'll delete the particular contact table where the particular ID is equals to 6. I'll just tell delete contact table where ID is equal to 6. I'm just going to tell here. So like this, if I just tell here, I think, let me copy this command delete. I need to use one thing. Right click and enter it, you can see I'm getting error. What is the error? The syntax is error basically. So I need to just delete table name I need to use. Okay, so I'll just tell delete a particular table name, delete a table contact where ID is equal to 6. So I want to delete a record of a table where contact, even though I am getting error. Okay, I got confusion. What is this? Okay, coming back to delete, let's see what. Okay, delete from, we have to, not where, delete from contact where a contact ID is equal to 6. So I'll delete from. So sometimes even I am a human, right? I will be forgetting it. So delete from a contact where ID is equal to 6. That means it is going to delete the contact where ID is equals to 6. Now we have a two records. We have a two records with the same ID 6. Now the two IDs should get deleted. You can see two records got affected. That is, two rows is going to get affected. If I just tell delete, select star from. Now if I just enter select star from a contact, you can see the two data is got deleted. So same way, even I can delete other data as well. So you can just tell delete from contact. Even you can try this one. So I'll just tell again, try one more thing. I want to okay, just a second. So I'll just tell again, I want to delete from contact where exactly the email is equals to, I'll just say where email is equal to, or I'll just tell email is equal to rohan@gmail.com. Is there any name with Rohan? If it is not there, what it is going to give me? It is going to give me the error. If it is there, it is going to give the error. Okay, see I'm getting error. That is, what is email? So I had given a spelling mistake. That is something called email, not email. It is email. So if I just copy this command and if I just right click and enter it, you can see 0 row get affected. So if I try to select star from contact, you can see Rohan is there. So Rohan okay, ROHAN. I have given Rohan, not a. I have given a spelling mistake here, so I need to give it the same. So you can see if you provide some email which is not exist, it is not going to give you the any error. It is going to simply execute, but if it data is present, it is going to delete the data. If the data is not there, it's just going to execute normally over here. Okay, so like this I can just tell, if I just tell here Rohan, you have to give it as a Rohan here. So I just copy this command and if I try to execute it, now it is going to affect the rows. You can see it is deleted, and if I just see the records, it is telling me third record got deleted where the name is equal to Rohan. So this is what the delete command is going to work. So this is the one command. So now let's see about what is the truncate command. So we'll see what is truncate. Truncate, truncate. So when I say truncate, I need to give the truncate table name. So I just want to give the table name as contact. Okay, so I'm just going to give a truncate name is a contact. If I just give the command truncate contact, enter, you can see 0 row got affected. Now if I try to see what all the records are present, you can see I'm getting an empty side. That means all the records from the contact got deleted. So this is the use of the command, that is truncate. Now if I show you the structure of the table, desc contact, if I just tell desc contact describe, you can see I'm getting all the types of the fields and the data of the structure is there. That means the structure is present, only the data got deleted. So that is the use of a table, that is command, that is truncate command. Okay, so now coming back, let's add the same data. Now I want to insert the data again. So I want to insert few of the data. I'm just going to insert this data. I'm just going to right click, so you can see the data got inserted. Now if I try to see the select star from contact, you can see I got the data now again. That means I have inserted again. So now if I tell you one more command, that is a drop. Difference between a drop and truncate. If I just drop the table, a table name is contact. If I enter the command, you can see whenever I use a drop operation, so it means it is telling me there is a table contact is doesn't exist. If I just show you the tables, it will be empty. So all the tables got deleted. So when I use a drop command along with the deletion of the data, the table also will get deleted. When I use a truncate command, just a data will get deleted, not the table structure. Okay, so there is the difference between the two things. That is a that is a command that is a delete and a drop and a truncate over here, which is on the top. So this is how the things are there. Okay, so now let's see with the primary key and foreign keys relationship. Okay, so that will be a very useful. So that is one thing we have to use it. So let's see whether how this primary key and a foreign key is going to work. Okay, so now coming back here, so one more, I am just going to tell you about the alter command. So we'll see how the alter is going to work. So here you can see, okay, this I am going to tell you with first. Let's create a database table again. After I'll tell you about the alter. Alter is basically to do the alteration of a database table. Suppose we have a data. Suppose I'll try to create the database. I'm just going to create a database table. I'm just going to create again database table, the same table. So if I just tell here alter, so alter alter. So I need to use that command, that is. So I'm going to write a query here. Suppose I want to tell alter a particular database table that is a content. I want to alter a table that is content. So I'll just try to, okay, I'll just come back here. If I try to tell alter, so first if you execute this database table, all the record you have to get it. Okay, so I'm just going to create it again here. So because I have done the truncate, right, so I have forget to add the drop command here. I'll just tell drop a table that is content. So after dropping it, the table will get deleted. So again, I'm just going to create a table same. Then I just tell I want to alter a table that is content table. See, I need to tell alter table content. Suppose I want to drop a particular column from it. I'll just tell alter a particular table content. I want to drop the particular column. I want to drop, that is description. I want to drop the description. If I execute this particular command, if I just execute this particular command now, okay, it got deleted. So let me come here. If I enter this command, you can see query got affected. Now if I try to see what all the record, if I just tell the desc of the contact, you can see I have a ID, name, email and phone number, but you can see the particular description has been get dropped. The particular description has been dropped. You can see that description is gone. This is the how we can use the alter command over here. Okay, so this is one more thing. So now coming back to your another concept, that is a concept of foreign key and a primary key. So let's see the concept of foreign key and a primary key, so which is very important, and we'll see about what is auto increment constraint. We'll see about a non increment constraint over here as well. Okay, so now coming back to your code, so here I'm just gonna create a new table. So I'm going to create a new table. So I'm just going to create a table, that is a create create a table. So I want to create a table that is an employee. So I want to create a table that is employee. Okay, so employee will be having what? I'll be having a employee ID. So employee ID will be having it. So I'm just going to treat this as a integer value. So I'm just going to give it as an integer, and it cannot be a null value. Let's say not null. That means it cannot be the null value over here. Okay, so like this we can specify the constraint for the class employee. So then, so after giving employee ID not null, so I'm just going to keep this as a auto increment. I'm just going to tell auto increment. It will be auto increment mode. That means automatically my system is going to create a employee ID to it. Okay, when you can give like this, I will just give it in the caps. Okay, auto, that is increment. So case sensitive doesn't matter. Auto increment I'll be giving it here. So once I have given an auto increment, so it should be separated with the comma over here. Okay, so now, okay, employee ID not null and like this. So next what I need to have, so I need to have an employee name. So I'm just going to give it as a employee name. So what is the employee name? So I'm just going to give, it will be a where character of, it can take up to 30 character. Even this cannot be a null value. I'll just tell it will be a not null. That means even definitely you have to specify a value to it. Okay, so I'll just give it as a not null over here. So then again I'm just tell employee name, and I'm just going to tell employee. So employee salary. So I'm just going to give the employee salary. So the salary might be, I'll just tell again it will be integer value. even I'll just tell it cannot be a null value. So it can be null value. Okay, employee salary can be null. I'm not going to force to him. Okay, so I'll just tell it can be employee salary will be there. So I can use a big int here. Okay, big int. Big int means it is going to store a large value here. So employee name, employee ID, employee salary, and I'm just going to give one more, that is a employee phone number. So I want to give the employee phone number as well. So employee, so the spelling mistake is wrong. So I'll just tell employee phone number. So even the phone number, I'm just going to give it as a big integer value, and it cannot be a null value. I'm just going to specify not. And so compulsory you have to specify the phone number to it. Okay, so then again I want to give it something like employee salary is there, employee phone number is there. So I want to give the employee department. So department, so every employee will be having one particular department. I need to connect a foreign key with a primary key, so I'm just going to give this value. So I'm just going to give it as a department ID over here. So department ID will be what? So I'll just first I need to create a department ID. So department ID will be an integer value. Okay, I'm just going to tell department ID will be the integer. Now I need to specify here. So what is we have to specify? We have to specify so from where the department ID is coming it. So before creating, so now I'll create one more table. Okay, so just it will be little bit tricky, just understand. I'm just going to create one table, that is create a table. It is a table is nothing but a department. So database table name will be department. Department will be having a department ID. So this will be a integer value, and it will be a not null. It cannot be null, and it will be a auto increment value. Put the comma, then I'm just going to tell there will be a department name. So this will be a where character of, suppose I'll give some 40 character, it can be up to, even it cannot be null value. So now I'm just going to declare department ID as a primary key. To declare a department ID as a primary key, I need to just tell here as a primary. So I'll just tell it as a primary key. Who is the primary key? That is nothing but a department ID. So this is how I can create a particular, this is the integer value, and it will be a primary key. Primary key means it cannot contain a duplicate value, and it is going to generate, your system is going to generate automatically, because we have given auto increment mode. If you are not specifying a ID, automatically it will give you the ID. If you are inserting a default key value, that should be a unique. Once the key is used, you cannot repeat the same key again. So it is what? Okay, now we have created a department ID, right? It will be department ID. Now I'm connecting this department ID to this particular table. Every employee will have at least one department. Suppose Anis is going to work with the front end department, and Amruta is going to work with the back end department. Aditya is also working with the front end department. Anika will be working with the back end department. And again, if suppose Rohan is there, he is working into some HR department, like that. So every employee will be having a department ID. So based on the department ID, I can access a employee which department he is working. That is why we are linking a primary key and a foreign key over here. Okay, so that is the one thing. So let's run this database. So let's run this particular query. If I just run this query, you can see query got created. Okay, so I need to end with the semicolon here. Now department ID I have created as an integer, right? So every employee can at least, there should be one department to it. So employee should have at least one department. Even if it is not, the department is also fine. So I'm going to say okay, department ID is an integer, and it can be null value. Okay, I'm going to accept it. Later I can update it basically. Okay, and department ID I have created, right? So next I want to connect with the foreign key. I'll just tell, so the syntax you can see here, there are things that are specified here. So I have said somewhere here, you can see I have said constant F key or foreign key. We have to specify the foreign key for the particular ID which is created. Then I need to references, I need to this one. Okay, so constraint I can use, or else without constraint also I can write it directly. I can just tell there should be a FORAGN foreign key. So I'm just going to tell there is a foreign key. Who is the foreign key in this table? The department ID will be the foreign key. I'll just tell department ID will be the foreign key. He will be references to the table, that is a department table. He is going to refer to this table, that is a department table of the department ID. So I'm just going to create in this particular fashion. He will be going to refer to the department of the department ID. So once I create this particular record, once I created this table, if I try to execute this table into my here, so even you can execute here as well. Okay, wherever you like you can execute, even you can just execute here as well. So if I'm just going to execute here, Okay, I'm just going to create a table employee where has employee ID, employee name, employee salary, employee phone number, employee department is a foreign key of your references to the department ID. If I try to execute, so you can say I'm getting an error. So what is an incorrect definition? There can be only one auto increment and it must be declared as a key. So it means I'm having an error. So what is error? One thing I specified. When I said here auto increment mode, I need to specify the employee key is your primary key. I need to tell here the primary key is your, I need to specify the primary key will be the employee ID. So this is the one thing I have forwarded. Okay. So this is the department ID. I'm going to specify the primary key will be the employee ID. So once I copy this command, now if I try to execute it here, so I'll execute here itself. So again, I'm getting error. It is telling me, you have an error in your SQL syntax. Check the manual corresponding with the version in your employee ID. So here I have somewhere error. So I'm getting here error, right? So basically, I need to specify in this format. Let me check. Okay, got it. So now obviously I need to specify a primary key onto the top. I'm just going to specify here. So I'm just going to tell the primary key will be your employee ID. Okay, I'm just going to put the comma, and I'm going to remove the from comma here. So let's I think the first we have to specify the primary key, then we are specifying a foreign key of a department ID. I hope this time there will be no error. If I just copy the same error and if I try to execute it, okay, again I'm getting an error. What is the error? So you can have an error in the syntax. So something is wrong. Okay, here is a wrong something. Okay, I have specified only primary. It is a primary key, right? Not primary. It is a primary key. Okay, so this is a one error. I'm just going to copy. So I'll just tell here primary. It is a primary key, not a primary ID. If I just specify now, you can see your query got executed. I'm getting a green signal over here. Okay, so your two tables got created now. So we have created two tables now. Let's see the structure of a table. So to create a structure of the table, what I need to give, I need to just tell desc of the table, that is, let me check first with the employee table. Then I want to tell here desc of the employee table, that is called it as a department. I want to check with these two department how the structure of it is there. I'm just going to copy, and if I just try to right click and enter, so you can see for the structure of employee, you can see there is employee ID. It can be integer value, but there cannot be a null value. It is known, means definitely you have to pass at the time of the insertion, that is employee ID, and there is a key and there is a null value, and it is auto increment mode. It can be default will be the null value when if you are not specifying it. Okay, then we have employee name, salary, phone number, big integer value, department ID we have, and it is a foreign key of your department, that is primary key. You can see in the department we have a department ID as a primary key, and it is a default value will be null, and it is auto increment, and there is a department ID as well. So this is how we can create a two particular tables now. So now let's insert a data into a department. So let's insert the data into a department. I'm just going to create a insert. I'll just tell insert into the department. Now I'm going to use the values directly. I'll tell insert into the department. I'll just going to pass the values here. Directly I'm going to pass the values. So values I'm just going to pass. I want to insert into the department. Values will be the suppose a front end department, front end developer. Okay, front end developer. So let's tell front end developer. I'm just going to give the comma here. Again, I'm just going to tell backend developer. It belongs to the backend developer department, and there will be a one more. They will be having it, that is a full stack developer. Okay, there is a three department: there's a front end, back end, full stack, and there will be a that is HR department. So I'll just tell HR department, HR. I'll just give it as a HR department, and there will be a digital marketing. Okay, I'll just tell as a digital marketing, MARKETING, marketing department, and there will be a, so let's keep this much. Okay, 1 2 3 4 5 department we are having. Okay, so I'm just going to, okay, see, I have done the syntax error, so I need to follow like this particular syntax. Okay, I need to specify in this particular fashion. I'm just going to tell he will be a front end department, and I'm just going to use like this. So that is, I have to close it here. Okay, I hope all the things are correct now. So I'm just going to close it here. Okay, so now you can see I have an insert into a department, that is the values directly. I'm in the department we are having only two things, that is the department within department. If you are not giving a department ID, automatically it is going to generate, and department name I can specify. I can just insert into a department. Values are like this. Okay, if I just specify like this, I hope there will be no error. If I just insert this data, and enter it, so you can see I'm having an error. It is telling me column count doesn't match. So as I said previously itself, when you're passing directly, it is a compulsory, we have to specify the call. I need to specify the numbers here. I'll just tell 1 for it, and I'm just going to tell 2 comma for a backend developer, and I'm just going to give the department ID as 3 for a full stack developer, and I'm just going to give 4 for the HR department. I'm just giving, so let's give only 4 department. Let's copy control X this one. Okay, so I want to just give this much. So that's what is this. So I'm just going to give in this particular fashion. So if I just try to insert this data like this without giving a column names, now definitely I'll be getting an error. So you can see, sorry, output. So you can see when I specify the column name, so long it is going to give me. So I just tell select star from department. I want to select all the record from the department, enter. So you can see I'm having department ID and a department, that is 1 2 3 4. So if I want to select, simply if I just say something like this is a one error, so this is a one thing. If I just tell here insert into, that is a department, I want to insert into a department, what all the department there, I just want to insert into a department. So what is the department name then? So there is a column that is a department name. I want to just tell insert into department, there is a department name. So the what is values, I'm just going to pass, that is digital marketing. Okay, digital marketing, MARKET, marketing. So if I just specify in this fashion, if I just tell insert into a department, that is a department, then value will be this one. So now I'm not going to pass the value for the ID. So department ID, I'm not passing it. If I try to execute the data, so you can see it is inserted. Now if I try to select department, automatically department ID is given by your system. Okay, so whatever the next value will be there, that is going to give it. So if I insert any other value, and again any other department, automatically department ID will be generated by your system. So like this, the two ways of inserting the data, we saw the second way as well into this particular example. Okay, so like this we can able to see it. So now if I just tell here insert into, now if I just tell select star from department, so I'm just giving you all the queries. Okay, so you can see 86 lines of queries, so that it will be easy for you guys at the time of the practicing. Okay, so I've given you all the queries data, so you can just get it from here. Okay, I'll be giving you this file along with the attachment into from my website. So then so this is how we inserted the way data now. So now let's try to insert a data into the employee table. Okay, now let's try to insert the data. Insert into, that is employee table. I want to insert into the employee tables, that is the employee tables. What all the columns are there? In the employee tables we have a columns. Employee ID I'm not giving, I'll be giving an employee name. So I'll be giving a employee name. So employee ID is automatic, it is going to generate it by our system. Employee salary I will give, I'll just give the employee salary, and I'll give the employee phone number. I'm just going to give the comma, I'm just going to give the employee phone number. Done. So now I want to give the employee department ID. So I want to give the comma, I want to give the department ID, name, salary, phone number, and a department ID. So then I'll just give the values to it. I'm just going to give the values. So values will be the name. So the employee name, I'll just give my name here first. Anis, I'll just tell my salary is, I'll just tell 25,000, comma. I'll just give the phone number random 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. I'll just put the comma. Department ID. Now department ID, I can give only the department IDs which are present into my department table, that is 1 2 3 4 5. If I try to give 6 as a department ID, it is not going to take it. Okay, that is the one thing. So I'm just going to tell department ID will be, suppose I'll just give the department as 3. I'm going to give my department ID as 3. So I'm just going to execute this query. So I'm going to execute this particular query. If I right click, just going to copy, come back here, right click and enter. So you can see one row got effect. That is the data is got inserted. Now I want to give the, suppose I want to give the n number of data. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. So I want to give the 8 data now. So I'm just going to tell same thing. I'm just going to tell Anis is there. So one more is there. Amruta is there. So Amruta is having a 55,000 salary. I'm just going to change the two numbers between. So I'm going to tell she is the department, that is of so I'm just assigning her department as a HR department. I'll just tell she is in the HR department. So again I'll just tell here Aditya has 35,000 of salary, and I'll just tell here his number. I'm just going to change a little bit. Okay, so now I'll just tell he is a department of I think he will be department in the 1. I'll just give him the department ID as 1. Okay, so then I'm just going to give it as a Meghana here, Meghana. So I'll just tell her department ID is 65,000. Suppose I'm just going to change the 3 values between. So then I'm going to tell 1 2 3 4 5. Okay, I'll just give values. Okay, so I'll tell she is in the department ID, that is to front end development field. Okay, so 1 2 3 4. So I'm not giving anyone for the department that is field, so no one is in the digital marketing. Okay, so then again I'm just going to give mechanization. So again I'm just going to create a department that is so one will be in the department that is first department, Aditya department, there will be Akil. Akil will be the department in the Aditya, 25,000 I'm just going to keep, and I'm just going to keep one more, that is one more I'm just going to create. I'll just tell Vinod. Vinod will be into a department that is 45,000, and I'm just going to change the phone number here 6599. I'm just going to change here 25. Okay, something I'm just going to take it, just changing the name, and he will be in the department that is 3. So even the Vinod will be in the department number 3. So I'm just going to tell you one more department. I'm just going to give it for the along with the Amruta. So I'll just tell there is called as a I'll give one more, that is Anika here. Okay, so Anika will be in the department of, she is earning around 85,000, and I'll just tell rename the number. I'll just tell 000, and she is working into a department. After there are how many department? 1 2 people are working in 2 department. In the one there are 2 people, and in the third department there are people, and fourth there is only Amruta, and which is mine, third department, right? So in mine we know this working, we are working with a full stack. So for the Anika I'm not going to give the department here, so I'm just going to remove the department ID. So I'm not giving any department to the for the employee, that is Anika. She is a normal, just I'm going to keep it empty here. Okay, and employee, and one more is employee, that is Anis, right? So I'm just going to keep one more employee. So I'm just going to create one more insert into employee. So let's just give it as a Priyanka here. So Priyanka is working into department 3 itself. I'm just going to give her salary as of 75,000. Okay, I'm just going to change the number. I'm going to start with the 77 like this. Okay, so I'm just giving like this. So see here, I'm giving a values like this, and I'm giving all the values for everyone. So that is a number, salaries and all. So I'm just going to insert this data into my database. I hope there is no error with this. I'm just going to copy this data. I'm just going to insert from here. So I'm just going to tell like this. Okay, you can see I'm just going to insert into employee name. I'm passing employee salary, employee phone number, and a department ID. And for the one Anika, I have not passed the department. I have kept as an empty, because there is not a necessary here in my table employee ID. I have not said that is the department ID is mandatory. I have not said it cannot be null value, it can be null value. Okay, so I'm just going to copy this. So whatever this is there, I'm just going to insert it. So when I insert, you can see all the data got inserted. Okay, same thing, even you can insert it here. Now let's tell here, select star from a table, that is a table name is employee. So once I entered, you can see I got all the records. So you can see Anis, Amruta, Aditya, Meghana, Vinod, and all the employee record generated, and department ID is been assigned, salary has been assigned, phone number is also been assigned over here. So like this, I can get a particular value from the database over here. Try to insert one more data. I want to insert one more thing. So here I'm just going to tell that is one. Sorry, select star from employee. EMPLOYE employee. I'm just going to select star from employee. That is going to give you the error. So that is now I want to insert one more data. So the data I want to insert like this. So I want to insert a data that is called as Chandana here. Chandana, I want to insert it. So I want to insert some 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. Now I want to insert a department that is 8. So I'm going to insert a department that is 8. Let's try to insert this data. If I enter it, you can see I'm getting an error. You cannot update a child row foreign key constraint fails. Basically it's telling me there is no department ID that is 8, so you cannot insert it. So whatever the departments we have only a 4 department, right? That is a front end, back end, and full stack and digital marketing. Only 5 I have, I guess. But there is no department with a ID that is 8, so I cannot insert it. So this is giving me the error. So I'm just going to put it into, so I'm just going to tell this will be the error over here. So I am just going to remove it from here. Okay, so I'm just going to save it. So this is how the things work. So I just tell select star from employee, I'm getting all the data and along with the department IDs over here. So this is how about the primary key and a foreign key we can insert a specific data. Now if I tell here select star from employee, I want to select star from the employee, where I'm just going to use a where department ID, I'm just going where the department ID is equal to 3. You can see I will be getting only a data whose department ID will be is equals to 3 over here. So this is how we can get the particular which is that who are working in a department 3, along only I can get those particular data over here. Okay, that is how the things works. Okay guys, now we are going to the SQL and or and not operation. So we'll see how we can add these particular operators into the queries. So you'll see in the way using a where clause we have to use this one. Okay, so the and or operators are used to filter a record based on more or one condition. So you guys know what is and operation and or operation. So, okay, if I just show you here and or operation. So if I just tell and or operation operators, if I just show you any of the image of it, so you know, right? So this is the AND gate. So you can see there will be a AND operation and OR operation. If I just open this particular image into the new tab, so you can see not means what? 0 means it will be going to give you the 1. Not of 1 will going to give it as 0. That means opposite of it. AND operation means if first condition is true, if second condition is true, then only the particular condition will be true over here. So 1 means true, 0 means false. So false, 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 and true is false. True and false is also false, and only a true and true is going to give you the output as true. So whenever we are going to use this particular AND operation with the where clause, so whatever the two conditions or 3 or more than 3 conditions you are specifying it, all the conditions should be true, then only you will be getting a query result. Okay, or else it is not going to get it. So in the OR operation, if any one condition is true, you will be getting that particular results of it. Okay, so that is what OR operation is going to do. So these are three important operator, that is an OR and OR. So it is what I can just tell you in this, it is going to refer it over here. Okay, so coming back here, so let's try to create one query. So about and OR, I'm just going to tell, so I want to select start from, I want to select everything from the employee where the particular department ID should be equals to 2. I'm going to use AND operator. So I'm just going to tell where the department ID should be 2, and I'm just going to tell the particular if I just show you here, the department ID is 2, and so we have only one particular department with the ID 2, right? So let me give it as a third department. Let's give it the department ID is equal to 3. Then I'm going to tell where and salary. So I'm just going to tell salary should be equals to, so I'll just say salary should be equals to 45,000. So I'm just going to tell salary can be equal to 45,000. If I just copy this and if I just write this particular command here, enter, you can see I'm getting error. What they're telling, there is an unknown column that is salary. So basically it is an employee salary, right? So I need to just tell employee salary over here. So if I just tell employee salary, you can see I'm getting only the records of the Vinod over here. Basically Vinod is giving the record. Why? Because see his particular department ID is 3 and employee salary is 45,000. So if I just show you here, so let's start from the employee. So here we are having a 3 details of Anish is a department 3, Vinod is a department 3, and Priyanka is will be the department 3. But department IDs are same, but the salaries are different. I have 25,000 and Vinod has 45, Priyanka has 75,000. But here when this condition is true, fine. Along with that, this particular condition should be true. Then only I'll be able to get the output. Here 3 department is true, their department ID is 3 and 45,000 is salary. When this condition is, both the conditions are true, only it is going to fetch you that particular record. So here where the AND operation is going to get it here. So here it is the employee salary, right? So it is nothing but a employee salary. Same way if I just give one more operator, if I just tell 45,000, again I'm going and I'm just going to tell and the employee ID. So I'll just tell the employee ID should be equals to 2. Employee ID, right? Employee ID is equals to 5, something like that. Okay, so if I enter this 3 statement now, I'm just going to say I want to check 3 condition. Employee ID, department ID should be 3, employee ID should be 5, and employee salary should be 45,000. If I enter, you can see I'm getting an empty set. Even though this condition is true, this particular condition true, but this condition is getting false, because of this entire query is getting false. So even so, if I just see this one, Vinod has the employee ID is 6, but it is not giving me. If I want to get the Vinod data, I need to give along with the employee ID 6. So you can see I'll be getting like that. Same way opposite to the OR. So let me copy this. So let me try to give same, but I'll be going to give it as a not operator. Sorry, not OR operation. So let's give the OR operation. So now see, it is going to fetch all the records where department ID is 3. Along with that, it is going to fetch you the record whose employee salary is equal to 45. If I enter, you can see I'll be getting 1, 6 and 8. So that is department 3, all the record is getting fetched, and employee salary who says 45,000, that particular record is also been fetched. Same way, if I just tell again one more operator, that is OR, I'll just tell employee, that is what EMPID, right? I'll just tell employee ID should be equals to 3. So if I just tell employee ID is equal to 3, even the employee 3 also data is going to give me, that is Aditya Rajan. It's going to execute all this data, execute all this data, and it is going to execute all this particular data. So this is how the OR operation and OR operation and the AND operation is going to work it over here. So let's see the NOT operator. I'll just tell select star from employee. I'll just select star from the employee where not of particularly where not of department. What is a DPT, right? DEPT, where select, I want to select everything from the employee where the particular department ID, that is department ID, should be not equal to, so not means department ID should be not equal to 3. If I enter this query, you can see I'll be getting all the data from the employee table whose department ID is not equal to 3. So you can say I got that ID of the first and second and even the fourth. But I am not unable to fetch the data of a department ID whose is department ID is equal to 3. So this is how the AND operation, NOT operation and OR operations works with your system. Okay, so this is all about the things is there. Okay, so if I just tell the same thing, even I can just tell here, I'm just going to copy this query and I'm going to paste it, so that I need to give you the notes. Okay, so I'm just going to paste it over here. So I hope you guys have understood about the select queries and along with the where clause, how we can use AND operation, OR operation and a NOT operation. So let's move on to the further topic. So AND operation is there. So now we have a order by statement. The SQL order by statement in SQL is used to sort the particular data either in the ascending order, either into the descending order. So we can ascending order means small value to the larger value, descending means larger to small. Even we can sort the numbers, even we can sort the alphabets as well. Okay, so we have this data, right? So we have how many tables we have? If I just tell show tables. So now we have enter, so long command argument. So let's tell show tables. So basically we have a 3 tables now: contact, department and employee. So now I want to select, I'll just tell select, I want to select everything from the employee. I want to select everything from the employee. I'll just tell order by, select star from employee, order by, I want to order by with the employee name. I want to order everything with the employee name. If I enter it, you can see I'll be getting a data along with this. So we're just going to paste this data into this one query. So what is meant by this one? It means it is going to give you the output where employee is in the ascending order. You can see Aditya, Akhil, Amruta, Anitka, Anish, Meghana, Priyanka and Vinod. You can see employee name is sorted here. So along with the sorting data, it is going to return you the output. So that is the use of the order by. So order by is the class. So along with that, I can use it here. So I can just use along with the order by, I can use it the different condition. Like you can see column name, I can use it either the ascending or a descending order as well. So if I just tell same query, I want to just tell, I want to get a employee data where employee name should come from. So whose letter start from like ulta, I am saying that A to Z, it should not start, it should start from Z to A. So it should come opposite way. I'll just tell, I want to select star from employee, order by employee name, descending, DESC. I'll just tell DESC means descending. So you can see I'll be getting an output which is having a descending order. You can see name is Vinod is there, Priyanka, Meghana, Anish and so whatever the data was coming ascending order. So this particular data is been coming into the descending order. So this is how we can able to get the particular result over here. So you can see let's start from order by the employee name whose it is in the descending order. So we can pass ascending or a descending order as well. So even I can pass somewhere like that. So if I just let's paste this particular stuff as well. So now I want to select one more. I want to just select. So I want to select star from. So let me use this query. Okay. Let me use this particular query. Same again. So I'll just tell I want to select everything. I'll just tell I'll use the order by here. I want to use order by. So it should be in the ascending order. ASC. ASC ascending means ASC is nothing but the ascending order. So if I run this particular query, it is going to select the employees whose department ID is 3 and and the employee salary is equals to 45 and employee ID is equal to 3. This is going to select all this data into the ascending order. Okay, so here I'm getting error. It is telling me right syntax, we have to use it with the ascending order. So basically it is giving me error. So basically what it is going to give, whenever you are passing order by, you cannot pass a where clause and all. Like you cannot pass the entire data. Like you cannot pass like this. Okay, you need to pass in this fashion itself. See, so let's start from table. Order by we have to give. So we have to order by the column. This will be the syntax. So we cannot use it with the what where conditions and all. So let me remove this. It's basically like this. So let me select the employees. Now I'm just going to give the order by. So now I want to give the order by the department ID. So based on the department, it should order and it should give me into the ascending order. So if I run this particular query, so I can say I'll be getting a data which is department ID is getting sorted. You can see department first, null department is coming. So null will have the higher precedence, then 1, 1, 2, 3, 3, 3, 3, and 4. So like this, I'll be able to get the particular data from the department and whose department ID is equals to ascending order. Basically order by the department ID is an ascending. So basically it is getting sorted. Okay. So we can sort not only the department ID, even we can sort, I shown you how we can sort for the words which is having in the characters, even we can sort it for the numbers as well. Even you can sort a employees based on the salaries. So if I want to sort an employees based on the salaries, I need to just tell order by employee, employee, employee salary. So that means salary. So you can see it is going to sort the employee in the ascending order, that is 25,000 to 85,000. So it is sorted. So it is getting in the sorted manner. So like this we can apply the particular queries and get it the output. Okay, I'm just going to save this particular data as well. So this is all about the things of the order by. So next we are going to see with the concept of min and max. So min and max is min is a minimum value and max is a maximum function. So I'm just going to tell here something. I'll just tell select the particular salary. I want to select the particular employee salary. I want to see who is the employee salary, minimum value of it. I want to just select the, so how is the syntax? Let me check. So this will be like select smallest from student. Okay, so I'll just tell it select the employee salary. So who is the employee salary? I want to just select the minimum. I'm just going to give a keyword called as min. I'll just select the minimum value from the employee. So from the employee table. So you can see it will be giving me the, so 25,000 is the minimum value in salary, the salary column from the table name, that is employee. So like this we can select a minimum values from the employees as well. Okay, so this is I'm just going to give you this particular query here. I'm just going to paste it here. Okay, so select minimum employee salary from the table, that is employee. Same way even I can sell, same I can just give it as a max salary. So let's sell min and max. So I can just give it, is not a naming convention problem. I can just select the maximum salary from the employee salary. If I just tell here select the maximum employee salary from the employee, you can say I'll be getting 85,000 over here. So it is going to return you the maximum salary of the employee table. Okay, same way if I want to say I want to find the count, even I can just tell I want to count how many how much IDs are there. I'm going to tell I want to count how many employees are there. So I'll just tell I want to count it using an employee ID. So I'll just tell select count of employee ID. How many employee IDs are present from the employee? If I just tell count keyword, it is going to give me the, so that is what select, that is the count of the employee ID from a table, that is employee. If I just enter it, you can see I'm getting there are 8 employees. So you can see there are okay, 1, 5, 3, 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Basically there is 8 employees into your database table, that is it is going to tell you. So you can just count based on the specific columns. Okay, same way there is one more called as an average. So there is a one more aggregate functions called as an average, that is the average. I want to find the average of the employee salary. I want to get the average employee salaries. If I just copy this and if I just show you here, so it is going to giving you the average employee salary. So it is going to add all the salaries from the tables and it is going to divide it with the total number of the employees and it is going to return me the average. So just using AVJ, I will be able to fetch the output. So this is how we can find the average salaries as well. So I hope you guys have understood. So it is very simple English and a simple definition, simple queries over here. So average is for the average, and max is for the max, and count is for the count. Okay, so is there any sum? So if I just tell, so again one more query, if I just tell here, so I don't know, it's okay, I'll just tell I want to do the sum of the employee salary. So I want to just do the sum of the employees. So I want to add all the salaries here. I want to just add everyone's salaries. I want to see what is the total number of the account. If I just show you here the same query, if I just copy it, just right click and enter, you can see it is going to give me the sum. It's 4,10,000 rupees. It is going to give me the account. Basically, it is going to add everyone's salary and it's going to give you the result, that is 4,10,000 rupees. Okay, so this is how I'll be able to get the salaries of an employees over here. So that is, we saw count, we saw average, we saw sum, and we saw the minimum value, and we saw the maximum value. This is all very important, which is going to use more. So this we call it as an aggregate function. So we saw a lot of things into the database DBMS. So insertion, deletion, and all the queries. So let's move on to the further topics. So the next topic in your system is here count, average, SQL. So we'll see about a like operator. So what is like operator? The like operator is used within the where clause, where to search for a specified pattern in the column. Like there can be a number of wildcards like operators. So basically the two important used as a percentage and underscore. The percentage represents the 0 or 1 or multiple characters. So I can just say something like percentage is something like star. Is going to match with 0 or 1 or more number of the characters. So underscore is going to match only with the single character. So if I just say here, so you can see there are products into this table. There are a number of products, right? If I tell select star from the products where product name like percentage S, means in any product name, if there is a letter contain S, that is going to fetch it. That is what the meaning of percentage. Even you see in the AirPods we have a S. In the earphone we have a yes or not. It is not there, so it is not printing into the output. You can see it is not printing it. In the speakers there is a S. It starts with a S. Even there cannot be 0, as you know percentage means 0 or 1 or more. So if a particular word starts with a S, even that is also counted with this. Okay, if a specific word which is ending with the S, even that is counted. If a specific word which is S is present into somewhere, like if it is kind of present into like there is only two things that is done. Starting it can be anything, and middle also it can be anything, but it should end with S. Okay, it should end the particular character with the end with the S. Even it can start with the S. So that is what the meaning of the percentage. So let's see with this example. So let's I'm going to try to I'm just going to use this data. So let's create a table products. So let's try to create this table products. I'm just going to create this table product. This one I'm just going to add it here as well. I'm just going to add it here as well. Enter. So we are creating a table products. Product ID is increment mode, and product name we are giving not null. Supplier ID we are giving, category ID I am giving, price I am giving, and primary key I am just making as a product ID. Now we are need to insert few of the data to work with this. To insert it, I have provided a data here. So I'm just going to insert these values. So I'm just going to show you what all the values. So it will be this money. So I'm just going to insert into the products, product name, supplier ID, category ID. I'm just giving some of the values to it, some of the IDs to it. Okay. Same way I'm just going to insert it over here. So let me insert the data. I'm just going to insert the data. So once I insert, you can see all the data got inserted. Now let's try to see. I just tell select star from the products. If I just tell select star from the products, I'm having this many data now. So now I want to select, I need to write a query. I'll just tell select, I want to select everything from the products. I'm just using a like operator. So I'm going to use the like operator. I'll just select star from the product where like. So how I can use this one? So I can use the particular data using so where is it? Where product name. Basically we need to use the where operator. Basically we need to give the pattern things to specific column, right? So I'm just going to tell select star from the products. I'm just going to tell where the particular product name. So I want to select a product. Now I need to give the condition. I'll use a like operator. So in the like I need to give it a single quotes. Okay, I'll just tell in the single quotes I'm just going to tell percentage. I'll just tell percentage. It should end only with S. only with yes. How many product names are ending with yes? You can see airport is ending with yes, and percentage means what? 0 or 1 or more character. So even your with this it is means something like even your word can start with the yes also. So which are the words it is going to start with yes? Speaker is getting started with the yes. Now if I try to run this command, you can see I'll be getting an output. So it is not getting right. So what is the error? So select star from, okay, I need to give products, not product. I need to use products here. Enter, you can see I'll be getting an output, that is with this output I'm getting what? So only the AirPods and the speakers are coming it over here. So this is going to, I'm just going to write this command over here, just save it. Now let's try to add one more. So I want to just tell percentage into percentage. I want to just tell 2%, nothing. I want to just tell 2%. If I run this particular query, if I right click and enter, you can see I'll be getting entire data. Percentage means 0 or 1 or more number of characters. Here we are not giving any conditions. So I am getting all the data over here. So if I just tell again something, so if I just tell here, I want to have something, at least one year should be there. Either your product name should start with the A. Yeah, this is going to work because percentage means 0 or 1 or more. Even your product name can start with A. Yeah, this is airport will print. Earphone. Yes, earphone. You can see starting it can be 1 or more occurrence. Even after end it can be anything. But at least 1 year should present. So in earphone A is present. In speaker also A is present. In laptop also A is present. In mobile A is not present. So it is not going to print. And in your iPad A is present. So A is also is going to print. If I just enter it, this particular command, if I just enter this command, you can see AirPods, earphones, speakers, laptop and iPad is coming over here. Okay. So like this, it will be there. So one more thing you can see here, the mobile is not getting printed because in mobile there is no character, that is A is not present. So because of that, it is not going to give you the output. This is what about the percentage symbol. Okay. So let's see with one more examples. So I'm just going to tell one more thing, that is I'll use something, I'll just tell it should be a percent. It can start with anything, but I'll just tell it can start with anything. I'll just tell even it can end with anything, but there should be a AP. So between AP should be there. So AP is for what? You can see laptop. Only for laptop is a consecutive character, that is AP is there. If I enter, you can see only I'll be getting a laptop because starting it can be anything and even ending it can be anything, but only the AP should be it should come together same way. So if I just tell EAR, same thing. If I tell EAR, you can see I'm getting EAR only it is in a specific condition. Okay. So that is one. So only in a particular earphone only the EAR is coming as a specifically. So now see there is a EA is there. EA is there into the earphone and EA is there into the speaker as well. So let's try to check whether that is coming or not. So I'm just going to say here as a E and A. If I enter, you can see I'll be getting a true products, which is EAR getting matched. So EA is getting matched. EA is getting matched for your earphones as well. EA is getting matched for your speaker as well. Starting it can be anything, so even it can start with anything. Even it can be percentage means 0. 0 means there cannot be any character before this E as well. That is also true. And if there also it is true. Okay, so that is why I'm able to get these two products over here. Okay, so this is one more important thing you have to notice about it, about the percentage symbol. Okay, so same way even you can specify the things to it. So now can I do it for the numbers? Can I do it for the numbers here? So we have a category ID, right? Can I do it for the category ID? I don't think so. Let me try. So let's tell I want to select all the products from this category. Like starting it can be anything, and ending it should be only start. Ending should be with the 00. I'll just give ending can be with the 00. I don't know it comes or not. If I enter, yes, it is coming it here. So you can see it is giving me the categories ID data, which is having last it should end with a 0000 over here. So you can see it is ending with a 000. So one more thing, can I say something? I'll just tell at least there should be a 1 4 into it. I can just tell like this. I'll just tell at least there should be a, it can be anything, but at least there should be 4 number. If I enter, you can see I'm getting a data. Select star from the category ID. So okay, I'm seeing for the price, sorry. So I need to see for this one, right? Category ID I'm given here. Yes, it is giving me all the category which is having zeros, and that is there. And even in the category ID, if I just tell at least there should be only 1 4. So you can see only your one ID which has a 4. So it is giving me only one, but this particular ID over here. Okay, so this is applicable for the numbers as well. That is what I want to say you. So it means it is going to select the products category ID where at least there should be a 1 4 over here. Same way, if I just tell this, it is going to at least there should be 100. It should end with 00. It is going to give you. Okay, so this is all about the percentage. Let's see about the single underscore, whether how the single underscore it is going to work. So now if I just try to enter, so if I just tell here select star from the product, I want to select everything from the products, where I'm just going to give the where operator, where the particular, again I'm just going to give the product name itself. Okay, so where the product name, yeah, what is it, product name, I'm just going to give the like operator, I'm just going to give the underscore. I'm just going to tell underscore. So there should be a starting letter can be anything. I'll just tell starting letter can be anything. So the second letter, it is mandatory to have a itself. I'm just going to tell second letter should be mandatory a, and next it can be anything. Percentage means it can be anything, but underscore means it can be only contain one character. If I enter, you can see I'm getting an output whose second character is a. And starting it can be anything, but second character is a itself. But percentage means it can end with the any of the character. I hope you guys have understood. So the underscore means it is going to match only with the one particular character. So now if I just tell again same thing, I will just tell start second letter can be a, but third letter should be r itself. Okay, third letter should be p itself. Fourth letter should be p. Second letter should be a. So only earphone has second letter a, and the fourth letter is p. So it is going to give you only output of earphone. So you can see it is going to give you only output of the earphones whose second character is a and the fourth character is p. So this is how we'll be able to get the output. This is how we can just match the particular pattern over here. So same way, I'm just going to tell one more thing. I can just tell starting three letter can be anything. The fourth letter should be, I'll just tell anything which is there, iPad. I will just tell fourth letter should be only a. I'll just tell fourth letter should be only a, so I'm only getting a iPad over here. So here starting 2, I have given 2 underscore, means 2 underscore can be any value, a1, anything it can be there, but third character should be only a itself. So because of that, it is going to give me the only iPad over there. Okay, so like this, how I can just specify it over here, like operator. Okay, this is the one particular condition over here. Can I give using AND operation? Can I use AND operation? I'll just tell I'll just use OR operation. I'll just tell select star from the product where product name like percentage a, or I'll just tell like this. I'll just tell percentage. It can be have percentage. At least it should ends with yes. I'll just use a percentage. I'm just going to I'm just going to release like this. So you can see what is the output. It is not going to match with the second one. It is going to match only with the first which you are giving it. Okay, it is not matching with this, so it is not going to work over here. Okay, so this is how the output is going to be there. So I hope you have understood what is the percentage and how it will be there. So if you want to match with the particular letter, so I'll just tell here it should start with a itself. Okay, at middle it can be anything, second character can be anything, and last character can be anything. So if I just tell a underscore percentage, if I give like this, what will be the output? So you can see it is going to give you the only airports. The only airport is having in your table, only a is going to a is a with the name a, only airport is there, so it is going to give you the output airport itself. Okay, so like this we can try with the more examples with the practice. It is going to get you easier. So that is nothing but we're going to call these things as a wildcards. Okay, I hope you guys would have understood what is the wildcards and what is these things has been there over here. Okay, so that is all about this thing. So that is what things I have specified into my blog as well over here. Okay, so let's see with the SQL in operator. So let's see what is in operator over here. So let's see in operator. So now I want to just tell select. So I want to select. I'm using in operator. Let's see what is the use of the in operator. If I have given any definition, yes, the in operator allows you to specify multiple values into a where clause. So in operator is a shorthand for the multiple like or condition. Basically, it is something, in operation is nothing but a or operation, and it is going to specifically it is going to get the particular value over here. So how can I use like this? I can use in this fashion. So I'll just tell select star. So I can just select like this. So I'll just tell write the query. Here I'll just tell write the query. So select. I want to select the. I'll just select the employee ID, comma employee name, comma employee salary. I'll just tell employee name and the salary from a table that is employee. Let's tell some employee where I'm just using where I'm just going to use where employee ID. I'll just tell where I want to get where employee salary. I'll just tell where the I'll just tell where employee ID I'm using in. I'm just going to in operator. I'm just going to open the bracket. I'll just tell where employee ID is 1 2 3 4 5. So if I just tell like this, it is going to get all the employees, only get all the data of the employee whose IDs are 1 2 3 4 5. So if I just right click and enter this query, you can see I'll be getting only those data whose employee ID is 1 2 3 4 5 over here. Same way, if I just try to say whose employee, I'll just tell whose employee, I'll just tell where, I'll just tell where employee name. I want to get only this specific data itself. Where employee name, I'll just tell where employee names are. I'll just tell employee names. I want to get the details of Anis. Then I want to get the details of Meghana. Meghana, Meghana. Then I want to get it details of Aditya as well. Okay, Aditya, Aditya. So if I just enter this query, you can see. So I'm getting an error. So okay, so if I just enter this one, so what is this? Something I did wrong here. So basically I'll just close something. I'll just give some wrong query. Okay, it is not closing it at all. So if I just tell Control C, so it is going to come out now. So let me try again. I given the wrong thing over here. So I'll just tell, I'll write it here. Okay, so I want to select the employee ID, employee name, employee salary, whose employee name in should be only this specifically name. I'll just going to specify I want to get Anis and I want to get only Meghana, Meghana, Meghana. Then I want to get only Aditya, Aditya, Aditya. Okay, just save it. So now I'm just going to copy this query and I'm going to write it here. If I enter it, you can see I'll be getting only those details whose specific data is getting matched with the Anis, Meghana and Aditya. So even you can match with the salaries, even you can match with the employee IDs, even you can match with the anything, but you have to specify the column name over here and you have to specify the perfect values of the particular column which is there. Okay, so that is the use of the in operator. Okay, same way if I just do this opposite, same way if I'm just going to copy the same thing, but I'm just going to use not in, I'll use not in. So even I'm just going to use it here in not in. So if I just write this to query, basically it is going to give me the output in this fashion. If I just write it, you can see I'm just getting, whenever I run this query, not in means except 1 2 3 4 5. Not means what? Opposite of in, right? Opposite. Not means opposite. So the employee ID I want to get everyone's except 1 2 3 4 5 whose ID is 1 2 3 4 5 employee ID. You can see 6 7 8 is there. It is going to return me. Same way if I apply for same query, if I'm just going to apply for the employee name, I'm just going to tell employee name should not be Anis, Meghana and Aditya. If I enter except these three people, all others data I am getting Amruta, Vinod, Akhil, Anika and Priyanka. Except these people data I am going to get all this data over here. Okay, so that is the use of the not in operator. Okay, so I hope you guys would have understood the employee ID not in. Okay, so now this is all about the basics concepts of the SQL. Now we'll move on to little bit advanced concept of the SQL now. Okay guys, let's move on to the further topic. So here I have opened the SQL advanced topics. So let's see with the advanced concepts in the SQL. So here we have created a table, employee and a department. So this already we have created, right? So we have already created a class employee and a class department table when I was teaching you for the primary key and a foreign key. So let's see how it is interrelated with each other. And I wanted to first tell you about the between and not between and aliasing thing. So we'll see here what is the between and operation can be used. So here let me open the MySQL over here. In the MySQL I'm just going to tell here select star from the particular that is a table, that is a employee. Okay, so once I enter this command, you can see I'll be getting all the data from it. So I have this particular thing, right? So if I want to select the salaries between 25,000 to 45,000, how many persons are there? So I can just say here again that is a select star from employee where I'll just use the operator, that is where I'm just going to where I'll just tell where employee salary, where the particular employee salary between, I'll just tell between, I need to provide two stuffs over here. I'll just tell between 25,000, between 25,000 and I'll just tell 50,000 here. Okay, so once I enter this command, you can able to see here. So I'll be getting a employees whose salary is between 25,000 to 50,000. So basically you can see Anis, Aditya, Akhil and Vinod has the salaries between 25,000 to 50,000 rupees over here. Okay, so this is basically it starts with the 25,000 and ends with 50,000 itself here. Okay, so this is how we can use a between operator over here. Okay, so I'm just going to give you this particular command here. So I'm just going to do, so same thing I want to use not between. So if I just use as a not between, there is a between and a not between. So if I just use not between over here, so you can see, so the salary which is not between 25,000 to 50,000, those salaries only is getting printed. So 55,000 is greater than 50 and 65 is greater than 65, 85,000 is greater than 50 and 75,000 is also greater than 50,000. Suppose think there was a someone's salaries was 15,000. So imagine whether that is going to print it or not. Yes, it is also going to print, because 15,000 is not between 25,000 to 50,000. So even 15,000 also would have printed if it is all there. Okay, so that is how we can use it for the numbering purpose over here. So along with that, even I can apply these things with the alphabetical or not. Let's see, I want to just tell between, I'll just tell between, I want to just tell between Anis to, so I'll just tell between Anis to, I'll use between Anis to, so I'll just tell between Anish to Meghana. Okay, I'll just tell MEGHANA Meghana over here. So once I enter, so not to, I need to use between Anis and Meghana, AND, enter. So you can see when I enter this one, so between Anis and Meghana, or whose salaries are there, that is going to print. First tell ABCD FG HI JK LMN OPQ RST UV WXYZ, right? So these are all the alphabetical order. So now A to M, so what all the values are coming between it, it is going to get you here. Suppose if I just tell A to P, so if I just tell Anish to Priyanka here, Anish to Priyanka, so again I am getting all the things. So it is also applying okay, not between I am saying, right? So I need to use between, sorry. So here I have to use between, not and. So I'll just tell, if I just enter here, so it is telling me so let's start from employee salary between Anish to Priyanka. So basically you see here, what is the mistake here I have done? Basically I am need to match the employee salary. I'm matching the employee salary, but I'm giving a characters here, but it is not going to work. We have to give the employee names over here. So it will be something like this. So it will be something like this. I'm just going to write it here. So it will be like select star from the employee where the particular employee name is between. So I'm just going to give between. If I just tell Anish to Anish and Meghana, okay, MEGHANA. So if I just enter this particular command, so now I'll be getting a proper output. Hope so. So if I just tell again, if I just copy it, if I just tell here enter it, you can see only I'm getting a data between Anis and Meghana. It is going to give you only this Anis and Meghana over here. So anyway, I can apply. Okay, so basically if I just tell Anis and Meghana, it's basically giving me the salaries of Anis and so basically it is giving me the employees of Anis and Meghana over here. So it is not getting it is not working like a like operator for as we were expecting it. But if I want to get it in that particular Anis between, this is working, the numbers are working, but this is not working. Why I can say, because after Anis there is a Aditya and all, right? So it is not printing those details over here. Because of that, it is not working it. If I just say something Anis and Meghana, except Anis and Meghana, if I just tell not between here, let's see how the output will be there. So I can say except Anis and Meghana, all the data is getting printed. Okay, so basically it is working as like that. So if I just tell Anis or Meghana, if I just use OR operator, so OR operator is not going to work, okay, with this one. So like this, how we can print the details over here. So this is just going to give you the those names who is present over here. Same way, even we can use it the one more thing, with not between, we can use in operator. So I can use in operator as well. So this is like something, if I just tell here, so what is the salary? I want to just print the salary between 25,000 to 50,000 I want to just print the salary between 25,000 to 55,000. If I write this output, so I am getting Anis, Aditya, Akhil and Vinod, right? So I want only Anis, Aditya should print, or Anis, Vinod should print. So at that time I can give something like this. I can just tell, I can just say some one more condition. In, I can use operator, that is a in. So I can just provide the names over here. I want to just print Anis, then I want to just print Vinod. So even we can print in this particular fashion as well. If I enter it, so it is giving me the error over here because we are taking the employee salary, but we are printing Anis and Vinod over here. So here how we have sent, so you can selling, we select the salary between and between this one, and I have to use, sorry, I have to use and operation because I have not used it. So I need to use and operation here, and operation. Okay, again I'm getting error. So what is error? So between 25,000, how it is there, between and first name. Okay, I got it. So basically I need to give in this particular fashion. So I have just select star from the employee, where employee salary is between 25,000 and 50,000. Again I need to use and operation, and I need to give the column name as well. I need to give the column name. So I'm just going to tell where and employee name and employee name. So I'll and employee name. I'm going to use in operator over here in. So if I'm just going to give the two names, that is Anis, comma Vinod. Okay. So basically it is going to give me the data of Anis and Vinod over here. If I just save it and if I just copy this data and if I just try to run this one, so you will be able to see only Anis and Vinod. So because first it is going to check this condition. If it is true and this particular condition is going to work. If it is not true, it is not going to work basically. Okay. So like this, the between and in operations we can use accordingly over here. So now same way we can use between a person. Okay, if we have in this particular fashion. So let's start from the employee, where first name between Abdul to John, order by department ID. So let's try to see like this. Suppose I want to write a query, that is a select. So what I'm just saying, select, how would I have given? They have given a star operation instead, because to get all data from employee, where the employee name, so between BETWE and between, so they are given, that is, so I'll just give you some other name, Amruta to Priyanka. Okay, Amruta and Priyanka, what they have used, between Abdul and John they have used an and operation. I'll listen between Amruta and Priyanka. So if I just try to enter this particular command, so I can see between Amruta and Priyanka I am getting it. So Vinod value is not getting. So I don't know why previously it was not working between this one whenever I was giving. So select star from the employee, where employee name not between I given. Select star from the employee, where employee name between Anis and Meghana. Same thing I have said, where employee name between, same thing is there. So basically I think these things are, let me try to check. So basically you can see now I am getting it. Okay, so we can there might be some mistake over there. So you can see even the between operator is going to work for the alphabetical order. That's what I was confused why it is not working it. So now you can see now it is going to give me over here. Okay, same way if I have said select star from employee name between Amruta and Vinod. So we will be at the last, right? If I just give it as a Vinod, so you can see Amruta Anis Vinod is also been came over here. Okay, so like this we can able to get the values from the particular data as well. So I'm just going to give you this query. So this is the one query, along with that this is the one particular query. So one thing I want to say you here, so now see what happening here is, so the data which I am getting it, so it is order department, it is not ordered here. You can see the department, it is not coming in the order. So if I just say same thing, till I want to get the data between Amruta and Vinod, I'm just going to use a order by statement. Okay, so I want to use order by, that is department ID. Department ID should be in the order. If I enter, you can see I'm getting the data from Amruta to Vinod in the order, with the order of the department ID. You can see first null is priority, then 2 3 3 3 4. So like this the order by is going to work. Same way if I have just said I want to get order by, if I have said the order by, that is the employee salary. So basically based on the salary order it is going to print. If I just tell order by employee salary, so you can see I am getting all the data over here. Okay, so order by employee salary, that is, even if I have just tell order by employee salary, if I have given DESC, descending DESC, in the descending order the data is coming. Same way if I have just the default will be the ascending order, right? ASC, that will be the ascending order. So the data is going to get you in the ascending order over here. Order by the employee salary. Ascending will be the default. Even if you not specify, also it works. First you want to get order. First you want to get the highest salary to the lowest salary. You can use the order by the employee salary. Then you can use a DESC, that is a descending order. So this is something it's good like this. Okay, so this is the nothing but a order by statement. Okay, so I'm just going to give you the code over here. I'm just going to write this query here, so which is going to get the department ID over here. Then now it is going to get all the data between Amruta to Vinod, order by the department, that is the employee salary. Same thing if I want the employee salary, that is in the descending order, I need to just use it as a, well, I need to use it as a DESC over here. Same way if I want to get it all the data in the ascending, obviously this is going to get into the ascending. It is not necessary to provide the ASC over here, that is the ascending. Default it is going to take it as ascending itself. Okay, so that is the one thing. So next if I just open my notes, so that is one thing is this. So let's see with the alias for the columns over here. So basically it's going to give like a nicknames for a particular columns. So we have something like, see here, for the first name they are giving as a F name, for the last name they are giving as a L name, for the salary they are giving as a amount from the employee. So basically whatever the names they are going to set, that is going to take it over here. So now that is called it as a aliasing over here, something like this. If I just tell here select star, so let's tell select the particular, so you can see we have these many relics. So I'm just going to tell select employee name as e name. I'm just going to tell select the employee name as e name, put the comma, then I'll just tell employee salary as e salary, okay, comma. So I'm just going to tell employee 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 phone number as e number, employee number, okay, from the employee. I'm just going to tell from the particular table, that is employee employee. If I just enter, you can see whatever the employee name was there, it is changed to e name. Whatever the employee salary was there, it was changed to e salary. Whatever the employee phone number was there, it is going to change it as a e number. So this aliasing is going to use it into the joins. It is most important. So this is how the aliasing names work. Basically just we are changing the name of a column by giving a default name, like suppose here I'm giving for the employee name, we are setting as a e name, like that. Okay, so this is not much complicated, as you know. So it's very simple like that over here. Okay, so now this is the one important thing. So this is how we can get it. So even if you want to change everything, you can change it, or else just you can change a particular thing over here. Suppose if I were select star, I can just tell here something like, if I just change it something like, I'm just going to tell I want to change only a single thing. Even I can just tell I want to just get all the employee name as the names from a table, that is employee. If I just enter like this, you can see I'll be getting only the employee names from the employee table. So this is how the aliasing is going to work. That is what is been mentioned even in the notes. Even you can try with the n number of example over here. So I'm just going to save this. Okay guys, so next concept we are going to move on to the SQL joins, which is a most important part into your SQL part. So here, see what is joins here. Okay, so the joins is something, it's going to combine the two rows from the two or more tables based on the related columns, basically. Okay, it's basically going to talk with the two tables, so which has similar what I can say, similar columns, and it is going to combine it, and it is going to give us the result. So there are a lot of types of joins are there. That is the 4 types basically. That is the inner join, left outer join, and a right outer join, and a full outer join. Okay, so we'll see what is this going to do. Okay, so first tell you about what is inner join. So inner join is it is going to return all the matching values into the both the tables. So basically whatever the matching records will be there, that is going to give you into the output over here. Okay, so it is what the inner join it is going to be. So you can see, if I just tell that if there is a table 1 employee, and if it is a table 2 department, if I'm matching a table 1 department, that is employee department ID is equals to department of department ID, whatever the matching gonna be, that is going to return it over here. That's it. So if I just tell you about what is the left outer join, so left outer join, it is going to return all the records from the left table and only the matching record from the right table. That's all. Okay, so it is going to return all the record from the left table Along with that, it is going to return the matched record of the right table only. And if I just tell you about the right outer join, it is opposite to the left outer join. It's return all the record from the right table and only the matching record of the table one. Okay, if I just tell you about the full outer join, returns all the records where there is a match, either if there is a no match from the left or a right table. So it is what the definition is. So let's see with an example over here. So let's see with the syntax of the inner join. So here you can see we have to select the particular table 1 dot column name, table 2 dot column name. We have to select the columns and along from the left side of a table 1. So here you see the table 1 will be treated as a left table and the table 2 will be treated as a right table over here. So before the inner join, whatever the table you are going to specify, that is gonna be treated as a left table. After the inner join, whatever the right side you are going to use, that will be treated as a right outer join. Okay, so that is right table basically. On, we are going to use one syntax, that is on. We are saying table 1 dot column name is equal to table 2 dot column name. So you see here we are having something like they are saying select the employee ID and they have to select the employee name, they have to select the last name and a department of a department particular name. They want to select this many data from the class employee and they are joining a department table. So on employee department ID will be equals to the department ID. So let's see how it is going to be working over here. Okay, so let's see with an example over here. Okay, so I'm just going to write the data here, or else I'm just going to write first into the Visual Studio Code, then I'm just going to write it over here. So first I want to say something like, if I just want to select, I want to use a select star from the employee. I want to just select all the from data from the employee. I'll just tell select star from the DEPARTMENT department. Okay, so I want to select all the data from the employee and I want to select all the data from the department. Now I want to just match, I want to just join these two table using an inner join and I want to say whatever that based on the department ID, I want to print the department name as well. So let's see how we can write the particular query for it. Okay, so I'm just going to drag this thing into the left side. So here coming back to your code, so I'm just going to write the first inner join over here. Okay, so I'm just going to put the comment, that is I'll just join, so I'll no need of comment, I'm just going to tell it here. Okay, so I want to just select all the data from the employee. I'll just tell here as a select, so I'm just going to use a select. So what is our database table name? That is a employee, right? So I'm just going to tell employee dot. So in my employee, so we have a EMP ID, right? So I'm just going to select the EMP ID. Again, I'm just going to tell from my employee table, I want to just select the employee name. I'll just tell employee name I want to select it, comma. So from the employee table I want to just select the employee salary as well. Yes, I'm just going to select the employee salary. Then I don't want to select phone number, so I want to select from the employee table, I want to just select the department ID. So I want to select these things from my employee table. Okay, so I will just give the from here. I'm just going to tell from what is the table name, that is the employee. So then I want to do the inner join. I want to just do the inner join. I want to just do the inner join for a department table. I want to join with this thing with the department table. So here the employee will be your left table and inner join will be treated as your right table. Okay, so these two things will be treated, employee will be treated as a left, department will be treated as a right table. So now I want to just tell, now I want to use a on operator. So on which, so I'll just tell from my employee ID, from my employee dot, so whatever the department ID is there, right? So this department ID should be equal to whatever the right table is there, that is our department. In even here we have a department ID, whatever the things is getting matched, I want to get all the data. So then they're going to execute this particular query. I'm just going to copy this query. I'm just going to write, I will just going to right click over here, and if I enter it, you can see I'm getting an employee ID and a department ID. Along with that, you can see there is an employee ID 3 1 2. So how many records we are fetching it? We are fetching a 7 records, but in my employee table there are 8 records. So let's see how it is fetching it. So here you see, here we are saying in Aditya employee ID is 3 and salary is 35,000 and the department ID is 3. You can see if I just tell you with how it is getting fetched. So basically it is selecting all the data that you know from the employee table. Inner join with the employee ID should be equal to the department ID. If I come back to the department, that is Aditya, here you can see his department ID is 1. That particular department ID is present into my first table, so that he is a front-end developer, so that is going to fetch over here. Okay, same way if I just tell up to the fifth Akhil is getting printed. Akhil is here, employee ID is 15, department ID is 1, even that is department ID is present here. So if it's getting matched, so it is getting fetched. Again, if I just tell you 2, second one, the second one is also Meghana, so her department is also present, even that is getting fetched. Next, Anis, so the department ID is 3, department ID is present, that is getting fetched. Next is Vinod, Vinod has the department ID 3, so department ID 3 is getting department ID of the 3 is getting fetched. So then one more is, that is Priyanka. So you can see Priyanka has a department that is 3, even the department ID is getting fetched. Then Amruta is a 4, so the Amruta has a department ID as a 4, even the 4 is present into the HR department, even that is getting fetched. But Anika has no department. You can see her department is not null, but null value is not present here, so that this particular thing is not getting matched with this here. So that is why Anika is not getting printed over here. I hope you guys have understood. So basically we are going to fetch all the records of the employee whose department ID must match with the department of the department ID. That's it. So that is what about the inner join. So inner join is something which is having only a match. So if that particular match is found, it is going to print, or else it is just going to get ignored. So that is what about the inner join is been over there here. Okay. So now next, if I just tell you about the same thing. So if I just open the blog here, so if I just show you about the next, that is inner join is done. So if I just tell here about the where join, so we are using a where here. So we are using a where operation, using a where clause from the inner join. So what if I have just used these things in the where itself? If I just do it the same query, I'm just going to use the where here. Okay. So if I just use the where operator, what will be the result? Definitely the result will be the what? It will be the same result. Okay. If I just try to run it, so I'll be getting a same result. Okay, there is no difference between the above result and a below result. Okay, even you can use on, or you can use the where operation over here. Okay, so it is what the thing is there. So next, this is all about the inner join. So if I just tell you about the left join query, what is meant by left join query? The left join is a type of inner join where it returns all the record from the left table. Here the left table is a table that comes on the left side of the before. It means if you are saying same thing, I'm just going to copy the same query. If I say here as a left join, if I just say it as a left join, that is a department, it means here left table will be employee. It should return all the data of the employee, okay, table, because it is a left table and we are using a left join, and only the matching record of the right table. Here the right table is nothing but a department. So that is what it will be. It means what? The left join is a type of inner join where returns all the records from the left table and only the matching record from the right table. Here the left table is a table that comes to the before the left join, as I said in the query. And here it is something like okay, so here right things comes after the left. Basically what it means, like the right table means here the department will be the right table, the left means the left table will be the employee. So whenever we give as a left join, so all the record from the employee it is going to fetch, okay, but only the matching thing from the department it is going to get. For all the record from the employee it is going to give, but only the matching content from the department it is going to give us. So if I just show you the example, if I just copy this and if I just run this command, so here I'm having an error. So somewhere I have it. So here we have said that employee dot department ID is equals to department dot department ID. So here something is wrong over here. So let me check what is the syntax here. So here we are using a write command over here. Here we are using a what? The on here. So basically we have to use on. So basically we'll see how I can write into different time by using an aliasing name over here. Okay. So I'm just going to tell here select. So I'm just going to use the select command. Select the particular select the particular thing from the employee, that is from the left join, right? So let me use this one. Okay. So I'm just going to tell here. Okay, got it. So select the particular, I'm just going to give the aliasing now. So as what is the aliasing over here? The aliasing is nothing but giving a short name over here. So I'm just going to give it as an EMP word. Okay. So I'll just tell I want to select the EMP of a, that is a employee ID. I'm just going to put the comma. Then I want to just tell EMP dot the particular employee name. So that is EMP dot the employee name. Okay, so emp dot employee name, then I'm just going to tell emp dot, that is employee salary. I'm just going to give the employee salary. Then I want to just tell emp dot, so I want to get the emp dot, that is department id. I want to get the department id. Okay, so from where? From, I'm just going to tell from the particular employee. So we are given as a emp, right? So this is the emp we are giving aliasing for the table, that is employee. So I'm just going to give it as a from employee, that is emp. So then I want to give the left join now. So I'm just going to tell left to join. So I want to join the left, so that I'm just going to give it a department as dept. So I'll just tell department as dept. So I'm just going to tell, I'm just going to use on operator. So I'm just going to tell here emp dot, that is dept id should be equals to department dpt. Okay, so I need to use it as a dept here. Okay, I'm not going to use dept. So dept id, dpt dot department id. DEPT means department. Department ID is a column name. Okay, so this is I'm giving aliasing for the department over here. Okay, so like this. So I'm just going to execute this particular query. If I just copy this query, and if I just try to come back here, and if I run this query, so you can see, okay, I'm getting an error. So that is saying that is a, okay, there is a EMPD error is there. So basically I had done mistake here. Here I need to use it as a EMP ID here. Okay, now it is going to work. So I hope all the things are correct. That is if I just copy it, if I just paste now, if I run it, so you can see I'm getting all the data. So here you see, so what is your department? Employee is your left table and department is your right table. I want to fetch every value from the department employee table as well, and along with that only the matching record from the department ID. Here you see one thing difference. You can see when I try to run this one, the 8th record was not coming. The 8th record was not coming. Which one? The one record was not coming, the value was null, right? Where the department ID was null, that value was not coming it, because in an inner join it is going to match only the values which is present in your employee table and a department table. When we give it as a left to join, so we are giving left to join, and where left table is a employee here, it means we have to fetch every data from the employee, that is compulsory, and matching record from the department itself. So you see, I got every data from the employee. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You can see here, I got every data from the employee. Even though whatever the matching record was there, everything I got it. But you can see Anika has it has no department. But even though I got it, so it means when I say left to join, it should get all the data from the employee table. Even if it is a null value also, I need to get it all the things. So that is what the thing will be there over here. Okay, so like this how we can that is what about full join is going to do it over here. If I just show you here in this if I just tell you here, so you can see here the above left join query joins all the employee table and department table, where employee is a left table obviously and department will be the right table. It retrieves all the record from the employee table and matching record from the department table only. Okay, that is how the example is going to work over here. So now I want to get the department name as well. So suppose I want to get along with that, so it will be more clear. So I want to get the, I'll just tell here DEPT. So what is the DEPT is nothing but a department, dot. So I want to get the department name as well. So what is the name I had given for the department? So you can see here I had given as a DEPT name, right? So I'll be giving as a DEPT name, DEPT name. So I want to get the department name as well. So if I just copy this, if I just right to click, so let's see what will be the department name for the 8th record which was not matching, right? Let's see what will be that. If I just try to run, so I'm getting error. What is the error? It is telling me dpt dot so I'm having some error at the line number 1. So what will be the error here? So here I need to give the comma here. I don't know why I'm doing mistakes, so I'll just copy this and I'll just run this command here. If I run the command, you can see I'm getting the department name as well. You can see Anis is getting fetched. So department employee ID is matching with the department ID. Sorry, the department ID of the employee is matching with the department ID of the department 3. It is present, is matching. 4 is present, matching. 1 is also present, 2 is also present, 3, 1 is also present, department is also present. But for the Anika, you see here, for the particular Anika, there is a no department is been assigned. So when the department is not assigned to the Anika, so you can see it is going to give the department ID as a null. Along with the department name also it is going to make it as a null itself. Okay, it is telling me Anika has no department. Okay, so basically all the record from the left table, that is employee, everything is getting fetched. If it is match, all the matching record is going to fetch along with the department names. If something is not there in the department, that is just going to give you the null values for it. That's it. It is going to match with the nullable values along with the every records of your left table over here, whenever we are going to give it as a left join to the department over here. So this is all about the left join over here. Okay, so now let's try to say same thing for the right join. So right join is a reverse of the left join. The right join query returns all the records from the right table. Basically, it's get all the records from the right table, but only the matching record from the left table over here. That is what it is going to do. Even you can see this is an important sentence. The right join returns null for the all non-matching record. So whatever the non-matching record will be there, that will be giving as a nullable values to it. Okay, it in some database it's called the right outer join also. Okay, so let's try to give the same thing. So let me give the same data, control D. Now I'm just going to retrieve as I'm just going to change the name to the right here. Now it should get all the data from the department. It should get all the data from the department, only the matching record from the employee. Whatever the matchings will be there, that is only it should get, but all the data it should be giving from the department here. Okay, so it is a one thing. So now let me run first one thing, that is I'm just going to tell select star from the department. I want to get all the data from the department, enter it. I'm just going to tell select star from the, that is employee. I'm just going to get like this. Okay, so I have a department and I have an employees of the all the data over here. So that is a department and I have an employee. Now I want to write this query. So now if I just execute this query, see what will be the output here. You can see what is the output. So you can see in my department there are a 1 2 3 4 5 departments are there into my department table. Now we have said right join of the department. That means it should fetch all the data from the department. That means all the 5 departments should get fetched. That is compulsory, and only the matching record should come from the employee table. So in my employee table we have a department, right? So 3 is matching, yes it is there. 4 should get, 1 also should get, 2 also should get, 1 also should get, again third one that we know data is also matching, even they should get. But Anika has no department. Anika should not get fetched into the department here, and even 3 also should get fetched. That is also that. So here we have one more extra, that is the department, that is a 5th digital marketing. This 5th department is been not used anywhere into your employee table, but as we have given as a right to join for the department, all the records should get fetched from the department. Okay, so that is why it is giving. You can see third one is getting fetched because it has a department one is present into my department table. Yes, even this also is present, this also is present, and is also present, Vinod is also present, Priyanka is also present, but Anika is not getting printed because Anika department ID is null. So that null value is not matched with any of your department, so it is not going to fetch it. And as you know, so even we can say digital marketing. What is digital marketing? We have a department name, that is a digital marketing, into your table, that is a department, but his department ID is 5. It is not matching with any of your employee thing, but we have given department as a right table and we are using a right to join, so it should fetch. So it is going to fetch the digital marketing as well, and his department ID is not present anywhere into your employee table, and employee, when it is not present, a department ID is, employee salary is also not there, employee name is also is not there, and employee ID is also not there. So because of that, it is going to give you the nullable value. It is going to assign you the nulls. Is saying a department, that is a digital marketing, is present in the department, but no employee is been working with your in this particular department, so it is going to give it as a null values over here. Okay, so like this how the right outer join is going to work. So that is only the difference between the left and the right. So left means fetch all the data from the left table, right means fetch all the data from the right table, only matching record of the left table. That is what the meaning of it. So if I just come back here, so that is what the meaning is here. Okay, so here you see here saying the above right join means employee table and department table, where employee is a left table, department will be the right table. The above query will display the following result. They are saying it is going to fetch all the record from the employee table, all the record from the department table, only matching record from the employee table. That is what it has been written over here. Okay, so that is all about the join. Now let's see what will be the full join. So full join means something like it should return all the record from the left table and it should return all the record from the right table. If there is a no matching, it should be treated as a null. That's it. Okay, So let's try that thing now. So let's say here I'm just going to tell as a full outer join. I think full join is not working with this, so let me use it as a full outer join. If I just copy this and run, okay, I don't know why it is not copying properly, so let me copy it, right click and enter. So I don't know why full join is not running, full outer join is not working. If I just give it as so let me run into my SQL workbench. If I run this one, if I just tell here full join, if I just give it as a full join, and if I just run the query, so you can see I'm getting an error. What is the error? So they are saying me error, you cannot execute this way, check the manual for the corresponding table. So basically the full join is not working. So what was the, so if I just tell here the full join is not working into your I'll just tell in the Google, I'll just take the help of the Google, I'll just tell full join is not working in workbench. So it will be giving me some suggestion. Okay, so if I just tell MySQL full join is not working, left join works. So obviously this is all over the thing. They are saying as something will be there. So they are saying MySQL doesn't support the full join. So they are saying the full join is not going to supported by the MySQL over here. Okay, so that is what it is going to tell. So they are saying if you want to use that one, we have to use the union operation. It seems. So I have to use the union operation. Okay, so okay, left right join. Okay, so they are saying something like this. So I need to use union operation to do like that. Okay, so basically this is not going to work. If I just tell you the example for that, you can see here, suppose there are the table that is the employee table is this one, that is has 1 2 3 4 5 6 6 data we are having it. We have a John, last name, email, salary and department. You can see for the second one there is a, for the second record there is a no department ID and a salary and an email. Same way for the third department is been not used anywhere over here. You can see there is a third department which is not been used anywhere. Even the fourth department is not present into your employee table. When we apply a full join to it, we are going to fetch each and every data. But you can see the which for whom the department was not there, for the James department was not there. Even the James got fetched, but it is going to fetch with the nullable value. You can see it is going to give it the employee ID as a null and the first name as a null. So this was for the left table. If I talk you about the right table, so in my right table there is a record, called it as a 3. Third record is there, right? So this third record has a sales. So no employee has been used a third record. So even though my third record is getting fetched, so that is basically it is going to fetch that is third one and it is going to give you the null value. So here is a one mistake. So the department ID should come here and the employee ID should come here. Okay, so only the label names are different, but the records are fetching properly. Just you think this is your employee IDs. Okay, so it is your department IDs, which is what it is fetching. The department 3 is not used any of the employees, so it is giving us the null values over. So this is what about the full join here. If I just tell you about this same thing, you can see this is a correct example, I can say. So even you can see 1 4 3 4 6 is the employee ID is a null for the third. For the third one, no particular employee has been there, so it is not returning any of the query. That is what is about the end-to-end joins. Okay, so this is all about the SQL joins. So next we'll move on to the next topic now. Hi guys, welcome back. So in this from now let's move on to the trigger parts. So I have worked a lot of things about this. So here you can see I have done all the codes for you guys. So I don't wanted to make the video lengthy, so already I have just prepared for you guys. So like I'll just use copy paste method. So I am going to explain you the things one by one over here. Okay, so it will be easy for us, and let's see more about the explanation of the part. So what exactly is triggers? So triggers, if I say what is meant by triggers, so trigger is something like some specific action is going to perform whenever you do some of the operation. So suppose whenever you do manipulation with the data, like manipulating the data, some of the action is going to perform, some validation is going to perform, or some in other some table some things is going to reflect it back over there. Okay, so such kind of things we are going to deal with the triggers. So there are a number of triggers, like whenever you do insertion, triggers is going to occur. Even at the time of insertion there will be a previously, like before and after things. Okay, even for the updations, like before you do the update or after you do the update, some trigger should reflect. Same way, before you delete something, or after you delete something, some trigger should happen. Okay, so we are going to perform such kind of things. So let's see how it is going to work. So if I just open my blog, I'm just going to refer my blog, so the links I'll be providing you. So this is a advanced topic, right? So it is there here. So in the previously we saw about the joins. So we saw inner join, left outer join, right outer join, and a full outer join with good examples. So all the notes has been specifically written over here into my blog. So I have referred various sites, various queries and various things, and I have developed these particular stuffs, so which is going to give you the more information on the particular topic. Okay, so now as we are going to the trigger, so there is something called it as a cross join. There's something called it as a cross join. So cross join is basically like giving the cross. Suppose you think there is a B in a table 1, in the second table there will be 1 2, so A1 A2 B1 B2. So like this, the cross joinings will be the such kind of things we are going to call it as a cross join. Okay, so at that time you can specifically just say like, or you can just use this kind of example. So very lessly used, but you have to know the topics. Like cross joining means like one specific column data is going to join with the second table data, and how many data is there, it is going to join it for everything. Okay, so like this, as I said, in a table A, suppose there is a apple and banana, and in a table B, think there is a, what I can say, orange and pineapple. So apple orange, apple, pineapple, and banana orange, banana, pineapple. So like this, the cross joining will happen for every data. So then there is a next is called unique key example. Okay, so the unique is something like, so how to specifically say a unique thing. So you see there is a create table student 2. When I'm saying student ID should be integer value and it cannot be null, and we are specifically set as a unique, and it's not a primary key, we are saying as a unique. Unique means it's like something like a primary key, something should be a unique. Suppose if I use student ID as 1 2 3 like that, so that will be we cannot use the same numbers. Once I have assigned a student ID as 1 or a 2, so it will be the common, it will be the same. So again, you cannot use the same numbers over. That is something unique. It's something, it's the word it's going to say is a unique, right? So that is what the unique example into your website. Okay, so now let's coming back to the important concepts of SQL, that is a triggers. So it is a special type of a stored procedure that is not automatically in response to an event. As I said, it is going to perform automatically. It is going to invoke automatically a specific event whenever it is going to occur. So that event can be a DML statement, data manipulation language statement, that is nothing but a insert, update, or a delete. So it is going to applicable for all these three data. So a trigger is called a special procedure because it cannot be called directly like a stored procedure. So stored procedure is there, I'll tell you later. So it is not, we cannot directly call a stored procedure directly like a trigger, but trigger is something different. Okay, the main difference between a trigger and a stored procedure is trigger is going to call automatically. We don't need to write some query for it. So we'll first write a triggers and we are going to leave it. So whenever some insertion happens or deletion happens or updation happens, so the trigger is going to occur automatically. Okay, it is going to make against a table. The trigger is going to perform against a table. A stored procedure must be called explicitly. So if you want to call the stored procedure, you have to write a query and you have to call explicitly. But trigger is something which is going to call it automatically. Okay, now, so generally triggers are of the two types. Okay, so that is first one is a SQL standard row level triggers and a statement level triggers. So there are the two types of triggers, that is a row level and a statement level triggers. So row level trigger means it is a trigger which is activated for each row by triggering statement such as insert, update, or delete. For example, if the table had inserted, updated, or deleted multiple rows, the row is going to fire automatically. That means, as I said, the triggers we are going to specifically say for the insertion, updation, and deletion before or after. So whenever the things happen, the trigger is going to fetch automatically. That is called as a row level triggers. Statement level trigger is a fired once for each event that occurs on a table regardless of how many rows are the inserted or updated or deleted. It's going to means the statement level is basically it is going to occur only once. So against any table, so let it be how many rows or how many columns, it is going to occur only once. That is a statement level. Okay, so I will see with the example here. So we'll see how we can create a triggers in MySQL. So here they are saying create a trigger. So how we create a table? So create table name. So here we have to say create a trigger. We have to use a trigger keyword, and we have to give the trigger names to it. So after giving a trigger name, we have to specifically say when this trigger should occur. Either I need to use after or I need to use before. This is compulsory. Okay, so it depends upon what trigger you want to apply. So I'll be telling create a trigger name I'll be giving it. Then I'm just going to give the keyword that is after or before. Then I need to tell, okay, you have to do, I'll just say create trigger name after insert or after update or after delete. Even it can be the one sequence. Even it can be before insertion you want to do, or before updation you want to do, or before deletion you have to do. So we have to specifically choose anything from these two, and we have to use specifically any one particular manipulation data from here. Okay, either might be insert, update, or a delete. Then we have to specifically say on which table name. So I'll tell on some specific table I need to apply the trigger. So then I need to specify the for each row. So for each row, that means for a specific row I need to apply this trigger. Then I'm just going to write the begin. Then we have to do some variable declaration. Then we have to write the code for the trigger, and I need to use end with the end keyword. Okay, so this will be the syntax for creating a trigger, and it's this will be the code structure. Okay, so now coming back to the example. So here we have to create a specific, they are creating a specific table. Let's try with the example. So here we are saying create a table employee. So his employee ID will be there, and employee name will be there, joining date will be there, and working hours will be there. So with the triggers, we are going to see the specific other particular data types, that is the date, time, and all those things. So here we have said as a create table name, so which has employee ID and employee name, joining date, and working hours. Okay, so let's try to create this particular table. So let's go one by one over here. So for the copying purpose, I'm just going to use this specific method. Okay, so here I want to change the database. So I'm just going to create database, database. So I want to create a new database name. So I'll just give it a database name as ARK Pro Coder. So I am just going to create a database name as ARK Pro Coder. So I'm just going to use this particular database. I'm just going to tell use ARK Pro Coder. I'm just going to tell use the ARK Pro Coder over here. So I'm just going to use a ARK Pro Coder database now. So now I can able to create it. So let's try to create this database table. I'm just going to copy it. Now I'm just going to right click here. So here I'm just going to copy, and I'm just going to paste it here. So what I'm saying, so I want to create a table employee whose employee ID is not null, employee name will be the character field, and even it will be not null, and joining date will be the date, and working hours will be the integer. Okay, so once I just execute the query, so I'll be able to see. So let's try to see. If I just tell here show tables, I can able to see the tables. If I just tell show, okay, let's tell desc of the, that is a table name is employee, right? If I enter, you can see I'll be getting an employee structure. So whatever the things I have specifically said, it is going to get. I can see the data type joining date will be a date here, which is the new thing which we are saying it right now. Okay, so next coming back, so now I need to insert few of the data. So I'm just going to tell insert into the employee. So I want to use the values. So I'm just going to pass the employee ID. I'm passing some names, I'm passing the dates, and I'm just going to pass the working hours. Okay, so see how I'm passing the date. It should be in the same format. It should be the year, and it should be the month, and it should be the day. So whenever you declare a date, it should be in the single quotes, and you have to specifically pass in this way. Okay, so I'm just going to insert this many data into it. So I'm just going to insert this. So I don't know why copy paste is not working properly. I'm just going to right click copy. So I'm just going to come here. I'm just going to click. I'm going to right click it over here. I don't know why it is not getting copied. I'm just going to go Control C. So I'm just going to paste it. So once I insert, you can see the data will get inserted. So all the data got inserted. Now if I just tell select star from employee, you can see all the data has been there. So employee ID is there, employee name is there, joining date is there, and working hour is there. So the employee ID is 1 2 3 4 5, and employee name is there, joining date is there, and a working hour is there. So all the things will coming properly. So next coming back to the triggers here. So let's see the delimiter. So we have to, what is delimiter? Delimiter, if I just tell delimiter, what is delimiter in Google, delimiter in SQL? So it is something like delimiter is a simple or a compound symbol that is a specified meaning of the PL or SQL. For example, use delimiter for the automatic operation side as a addition and a subtraction. They are going to say. If I just tell what is the use basically. So delimiter is used in the programming languages to specifically code the particular boundary. So we are going to give the boundary. So like if I just tell you boundary, if I just tell from here to here, this will be the my boundary. I can do anything. So why we are using delimiter here is if I start with the delimiter, I can write any code of the code, anything I can write. So whenever I end with the delimiter, that is the forward 2 times forward slash. So whenever I end with the same 2 times forward slash, then only your query will get executed. So it is going to make your code more readability, and we can write the n number of code, and whenever I by mistake also I cannot execute the query, so that it is going to give you the new line, and I can use two things. So I can specifically say delimiter with the double forward slash, and even I can use delimiter with the dollar symbol, $2 if I specify, that will be also working. Okay, so let's see what it is been creating over here. So I'll explain you from here. So here you see, so here we have said delimiter, right? So it is something like delimiter. I'll just tell create delimiter. I'll be using 2 forward slash, then I'll tell create a trigger. Now I'm going to create a trigger. So I need to specifically say create a trigger. Now I'm going to give the trigger name. So the trigger name, I'm just going to keep it as a employee trigger. So emp trigger, this is my trigger name. So I need to use before or after. So I'm going to use before. So either I need to use insert, update, or delete. I'm going to use insert. That means I want to insert a thing onto the employee. So before inserting, I want to run this trigger. So that is what it means. Before inserting the value, I need to run this trigger automatically. So after on particular table, that is a employee table, I am specifying it here. So then I need to tell for each row. For each row, I need to specifically say. Then I'll tell begin. So this will be the syntax, and I'm just going to use if else condition. If condition I'm using basically. I'm just going to tell if. So there is something, there will be two things, new and old. New means the value which at a time of insertion, whatever is it. Suppose if I just pass in insert into employee 5 Salman and the other thing, so Salman will be the new value. So whatever the new value will be, that is going to treat it as a new. So basically old will come. Old is basically used for the updation purpose. Okay, suppose if I want to update a data, suppose I want to make Salman, so I want to make it as Shahrukh. So I'm the old value will be what? Old is going to be treated as a Salman, new will be treated as a Shahrukh. So but here now only I'm inserting, right? There is no value itself, so then I cannot apply the old here. So that is nothing but before insertion. I'm just going to tell if a new working hours. So whatever the value, that is a working hour, is basically this is a working hours, right? So if it is telling if new dot working hour means whatever the value is coming, if it is greater than 10, if it is greater than 10, suppose I am passing a value which is greater than 10, or whatever the value which you are passing, suppose that is lesser than 0, then I'm going to say don't insert that particular value, then set. That means if this condition is true, I need to set that particular value, that is a new value of the working hours, to 0. That means I'm performing some particular trigger. I'm just saying, so I'm performing some particular trigger, like if this particular condition is true, I need to make it the working hour as 0. If there, I cannot say I'm working for 12 hours or 13 hours. So it is maximum, I can say it for 9 hours. So, or basically I can just say it as a 10 also. If greater than 10 means it's going to come from 12. I cannot say in the negative values as well at the time of the insertion. If something by miss, if I specifically say, then the value is going to set it to the 0 hours. Our system is going to set it to 0 hours. So that is what your trigger means. Trigger is something which is going to take care before the insertion or after the insertion automatically, that is going to perform some specific task. So whenever I need to say, I need to initiate this trigger. So I'm just going to copy this trigger and I'm going to paste, I need to paste it. I'm just going to tell here, I need to just paste it. Basically, I don't know why this is not happening properly. I'm just going to press Ctrl C neatly. I'm just going to press Ctrl V. So now if I just enter, you can see query got executed. You had to give the proper syntax. See, I'm going to copy paste. If I type it, the length of the video will be large. So I don't want to make it large. So I wanted to make more information in a limited time. So because of that, I'm using this method for the rest of the course. So here I am using a delimiter. So even you can use a dollar symbol here as well. Just I'm just going to provide you the notes. Don't worry. So here it is I hope you guys have understood what it might be. So what is the triggers, how we can insert it. Okay, now see, now once the trigger is done, so how can I see the triggers? If I just tell here show the triggers, if I just tell show triggers, so if I just now see, if I enter with the semicolon also, I'm getting into the new line. That means I have activated the delimiter. So if you want to, whenever you activate the delimiter, you have to, whenever you want to see the output, you have to give the forward 2 times slash and enter it. You can see I'm getting an output. It is saying me, yeah, there is a one trigger, called it as so you can see here, if I just show you properly, so it is saying it is something very large. Okay, so you can see it is going to give me, basically it is saying me there is a trigger got created, that is the employee trigger is created, that is a event is a trigger. So for the table, that is employee, statement is a, this is the particular statement whatever you have given, and there is something called as the date and when the date is created, and you can see, and a lot of things, the lot of the thing is the database which is using, and what is the SQL mode, and what is the created connection, what is the created connection, this is the connection time. So it's going to give me a lot of attributes condition. That is going to tell me the what all the when it is created, and more information on the trigger table. Okay, so that is what it is going to do it. So now coming back to the next here, so when I have inserted a data now, so now I have inserted a data, right? So I have shown you what is the data is inserted, so whatever the data is we have inserted it. Now we have activated the trigger. Now so we created a table, we inserted the value, now we have activated the entire trigger to it. Now let's try to add something which is going to affect us. So basically when I insert a new value, so I'm going to insert a new value, that is a Vinod, and his date I'm providing it, then I'm passing the value 15 hours. So when I pass 15 hours, definitely the working hour should be stored as 0. Why? Because according to this particular condition, it is going to get true. So then the new working hour is going to set 0. When 15 is not greater than 100, sorry, 15 is greater than 10, else it is true, right? New working 15 is lesser than 0, yes, that is also true. If any condition is true, this is going to get executed. If I have just passed here as a if I have say something like 8 is greater than 0, no. 8 is less than 0, no. When the condition is false, you would have not set it. So as no condition is true, so if I just try to insert this data, now, if I try to insert this data, so I'm just going to, I don't know why. I think my keyboard is gone. Why are you doing like this? If I just copy again, I'm getting angry here. So now if it is going to take it, so now if I see again it is getting, I'm just going to give like this, so you can see one row got affected. Now again I want to insert the few of the data. Now I want to insert something with a negative number. I'm just going to give the negative number, that is a 5. So I'm just going to insert that is negative number 5. This time I'm just going to insert, we know this 0, I'm just going to give it as a Raju. So now I'm just going to give the number to 7. So if I enter it again, if I just enter with the 2 forward slashes, if I enter, you can see row got affected. Now if I just say here select star from the employee, so you can see there is a 2 new value got inserted, that is a Vinod and a Raju. I was passing 15 and minus 5, right? You can see the working hour has been set to 0. That is what the real actual meaning of the trigger. So as you know, so easily something is from the behind the scenes, the things is going on in the background, the something is happening, some trigger is going to happen. So that is what the thing is happening over here. So that is how we can specify a specific condition. I can give specific condition, I can insert, I can add it. So before some of the operation, it is not like you have to use in if condition itself. Even you can tell before something happens, you can use the insert statement or delete statement, anything you can put it into this particular logic. Any logic you can put, any SQL logic you can put it here. So here we are using a if condition, if specifically matching and doing some setting the things. Even you can do updation, insertion, deletion, whatever you like, you can do it. Okay, so that is your will be the code logic over here. So that is the use of the particular thing. Well, that is a show trigger. So I have said you about the show trigger. Whenever I run this command show triggers, how many triggers, what is the thing is going to happen, that is going to show you. So it is going to give me this kind of output here. So there you see we have explained. So trigger means it is a name of a trigger. We have to specifically say. Event means there will be 3 events, the insert, update or a delete. Table means we have to specifically say the which table it belongs to trigger. timings. Is there some timing it is going to specify when the trigger is created, what is the mode of the SQL, database cooperation, collation, all the things it is going to give us the information whenever I give you the show trigger command over here. Okay, so even I can drop the trigger. It is not like I can keep it a trigger. Even if I just tell drop trigger and a trigger name. So what is the trigger name here? So if I want to drop a trigger, so I need to tell, basically I need to tell so okay, I have not specifically said here. So if I want to delete a trigger, I need to tell drop table name. How you are dropping a table, same as it is, even I can drop the trigger as well. So you need to use trigger, drop trigger, and you have to specifically say the trigger name. So what is the trigger name here? So the trigger name was the add trig, which we have created it. Okay, so like this we can, so which is the trigger name? Employee trig, emp trig. So that is how we can just specifically say. Okay, so you can delete a trigger as well. So now coming back to the before, now we saw a trigger. What we saw, a trigger, that is we saw how to create a triggers in MySQL, right? So this is how we can see the trigger, create a trigger. Now we'll see how to create a trigger before insertion. So basically we saw the before operation itself, right? Before operation is, then we'll see about the how to see the after trigger information. Okay, so let's try to see how the before and after insertion works. Okay, so see here there is a syntax, as you know. So we have to create trigger name. We have to say, we have to specifically say before insert whenever we are using applying this particular condition. Then on which table, a table name we have to specify, for each row we have to specify, then we have to give the trigger body. So that will be the output, that will be the data. So as I said, rather than using a forward slash, I can use the rather than using forward slash, I can use the double dollar symbols. So and it should end with the double dollar symbol to execute a particular query. Okay, so that I think you would have understood right now. So double forward slash means it is going to start your delimiter. Whenever you are giving a double dollar symbol, it is going to end. When you want to stop the delimiter, you have to say delimiter and a colon, semicolon you have to enter. When you say delimiter semicolon, if I just say something delimiter with the semicolon, if I just tell here delimiter, D-I-L-I-M-I-T, delimiter semicolon, if I enter it, so that means, so I'm going to get an error here. Why? Okay, I need to specifically tell with some query over there. Okay, so whenever I use the delimiter with a particular forward slash, it's going to stop it over here. Okay, so now coming back to the next thing, let's go try to create a new database table here. I'm just going to create a database table that is a label. I'm just going to forward double this one, forward slash enter. So what is that label? I created a label. I have just created something called create a table label. Name is a where character, that is create a table label. Name is a where character, that is a 45, and it is not null. So then again I have said like occupation, that is a where character of 35. So basically it will be a data type that will be 35, and it will be not null. And working date I have given as a date, working hour I have given as an integer value. Okay, so this is the one label we have created it, that is fine. So now I'm just going to say I need to start with the delimiter. I'm just going to start with the delimiter. So now I'm just going to end in this fashion. I'm just going to tell delimiter like this. So this will end it. Okay, so I'm just going to save this one. So now I want to create a trigger, that is a add trigger. So before insertion, this trigger should occur. So the trigger name I have given as a add trigger. So before insertion on the label, I want to apply for each row. So I'm going to use a begin and end. So in the between, I'm just going to give one condition. I'm just going to say if at the time of insertion, suppose if we had given the occupation name is equal to construction, then I'll just set that particular value to civil. Okay, then that is the only one small trigger it is there. Okay, so that is going to take it as a civil, that's it. Okay, if any other thing will be, that will going to set. Now I'm just going to copy this. I'm just going to come back. If I just paste this one, it is not going to listen to me for the copy paste. I don't know why. Okay, why it is happening? I'm really don't know what is happening here. Okay, so I'm just going to use like this. Okay, I'm just going to tell again, I'm just going to use Control C. So now I'm just going to come here, Control V. So now it is happening. So now once it is ended, so you can see once it is ended, so now we have started with delimiter, right? So it is created, trigger got created now. Okay, if I just tell here the show triggers, if I just tell here show TRIGGERS triggers, if I just tell show triggers, so you can see there is a two triggers now. So there is a trigger called as the EMP trigger, here is one, and a new one which I added, add trigger, it is going to show me here. Okay, so basically it's a little bit confusing, you cannot see properly, so I have shown you. Now coming back here, so done. So what it means, whenever I insert the value, when the occupation name is equal to construction, just the trigger is something whenever before insertion it is going to say it is a civil thing. Okay, so now let's try to okay, the same thing has been here. So same thing, even I can use it using the dollar symbol. So as I said, if you want to use a double forward slash, you can use, or you can use a double dollar symbol. That even it is your choice, whichever you are using. The same thing is there. Now I want to insert the few of the data, that I'm just going to insert it. So I'm just going to insert the few of the data from here. So I'm just going to use the insertion. I'm just going to enter it. If I enter, you can see insert into a label. I'm just going to pass the label name. I'm going to pass the construction, and I'm passing a date, and it's 7 and 8. So now one more thing, I want to pass one more data. I want to just pass one more data. I'll just tell ERK Pro. I'm just going to pass it as a coder. Now I'm just going to give it as a name, as suppose a label is Taylor. So I'm just going to tell the label name is a Taylor. I'm just going to keep his ID something as working hour is equal to 6 hours. I'm just going to enter his data, so it is affected. Now if I just tell select star from LABOU or label, if I just enter the statement, you can see whatever the construction was there as a trigger occurred. So before inserting, it is going to check here whether construction is there. Yes, if it is construction, what is the trigger I need to specify? If it is a construction, I need to just change it to the civil. So the thing is going to change it with the civil, and you can see the Taylor means it is something we are not matching any data. Same thing, it is going to print it. Okay, so that is how the Taylor is getting printed over here. So that is the one thing over here. Okay, so now that is what the thing is there. So this is all about the student. Let's just come back here. That is all about the before inserting the data over here. Okay, so now let's see example with the after insertion of the trigger. So after insertion of the trigger. Okay, so basically after insertion this trigger should occur. Okay, so see here what I have said here, we have to specify trigger, create trigger name. After insert, I need to use after insert, then I'm going to tell on specific table name for each row. That means on specific table name, on a specific table we have to tell for each row, then we have to give us trigger. What is the syntax? Next we'll see here first, second, third, and finally trigger is going to occur. Okay, let's see what is the syntax of it. So you know here the same thing we have been specified, we have to use delimiter, and with the delimiter, so here we are going to tell create trigger and a trigger name. After insert, we have to specify after insert for the after insertion trigger. Okay, then whatever be the trigger code, we'll be seeing it. So before applying that, let's try to create a new table for it. So for the after deletion, so I'm going to create a new table. So a table name, I'm just going to create it as a info, student info. Okay, so that will be a student info. Here you see student ID we are given, it will be a not integer, not null, it cannot be null, and the student ID is being treated as a primary key over here. Then we are using a student code. Student code will be having a where character. Default value is going to be created as null. So we have never seen the default how to use. So we are saying default will be a null value. So student name will be a default, will be null if we are not providing it. Subject we are having, even it will be a null if you are not providing. Marks is there, default will be a null. It will be integer, and phone number is the where character of 15. Default value of the phone number also will be the 10 null here. So let's copy this. So I'm just going to copy it. I'm just going to tell here. I'm just going to paste it, even though it is not pasting. I'll just tell again Control C. I'm going to press many times. Then I'm just going to right click. It is going to paste it. Enter it here. Okay. So now you can see the query got executed here. If I just tell DESC of student info. So if I just tell DESC of the student info. If I enter it here, you can see I can able to see the student ID will be a primary key, rest all the values will be there. Default value has been provided as a null. So there is no need of giving a default value. Automatically the default value will be null itself. Okay, if we are not providing anything. So that is a one more thing. So now let's create a student details. So now you will get to know why we are using student details table as well. So now what my idea here is, whenever anything insertion happens here, I want to trigger the particular data into this particular table as well. That is my thing now. So here we have a student details. Student info is one table and a student detail is a one more table. I am going to create it. So this is where our trigger table. So same thing we will be having here: student ID, student code, student names, marks, phone. Along with that, I'll be creating one new attribute column, that is a last inserted. When it is inserted, that time I am giving now the new attribute came, the new data type came now. The new data type name is a name here. Okay, So then when it is last inserted, it should tell that last inserted will be the time. Create a table student details. Okay, so when it is inserted last time, that is the time it is going to tell me. Okay, this will be a time. The column and primary key I'm just making as this one, so I'm just going to copy this particular now. I'm just going to tell Control C C C. I'm just going to create this table as well. Enter. So table got created now. Okay, so there is a two tables. If I just tell here as a show tables, you can see I'll be having a employee table is a label we got created. Now we created a new table, that is a student details and a student info. Okay, so now that is the one more thing. So now coming back to the trigger. So now let's try to create it now. So now after, before insert we saw, now we have to see after insert. So delimiter. So I'm going to use delimiter, this one. So I'm going to tell create a trigger and a trigger name. So trigger name, I'm just going to keep it as a student insertion. So I'll tell after insert, I'm using a after and using an insert on I'm using. So I'm telling after insertion on the student info. That means whenever you do insertion, after insertion of the student info, whatever is there, you insert it. Suppose whatever the value I'm giving, you insert it, fine. So after inserting, you have to perform this particular trigger. So I'm going to apply for each row. I'm just going to tell begin start. As I said, we can write any logic, any query over here. I'm going to write one query here. I'll tell whatever the insertion happens, let it happen. See here, I'm inserting insert into student info values I'm going to pass. So I'm passing student ID 1. I'm just passing some 110 for whom, for student code. I'm passing name, I'm passing subject, passing the marks, passing the phone number. This is going to save the data into a table that is a student info. That is fine. After insertion, what should happen? So after that, again it is going to insert the same data into a new table that is a student details. It is going to insert the same data into a table that is a student details, whose values is going to be this one. So as I said, new value, before, see, when I'm inserting a new data, that is only the new, there is no old data present here. So old is going to use into the updation part and a deletion part. But in the insertion, that will be a new data itself. So in the, I'm just wondering, whatever the new will be, the new value is there, use the new value. That value you just pass it to the student ID itself. Whatever the value has been getting passed for the student code, pass it same thing for the student code here. Same for the student name, same for the student subject, then pass it for the marks as well, pass it for the phone as well. Then we are going to, there is a one more column, it is a last inserted. So whenever you are passing the values, that should be a proper thing. Here I am not using a column names. So I am passing the values respectively. If there is something, if this particular columns are not matching with this particular column, then specifically I need to specify the specifically whatever the column you are specifying, whatever the data is coming, we have to specify here as well. We have to use the column names and the values. Okay, so that is also one thing is there, and yeah, that is also one thing is there. That is will be one fine. Okay, we have to specifically say the column name, but here we are passing the respectively data. So directly I'm passing inserting the student details values. I'm just passing whatever the new value of the student ID is there, you pass it for here. Whatever the new value of the student code is there, pass it for the code, same thing. And the last we are using current time. Current time means whatever the time is there, current time, just use that particular time and save it over here. That's all. Okay, so that is our trigger logic. I'm just going to use this logic. Now I'm going to save this into our database, so that I'm just going to execute this logic. I'm just going to execute, so it is not copied. Let me copy again. I'm just going to tell Control C. Just going to use Control C, and I'm just going to paste it the same logic and enter it. The query got executed now. So let's try to insert the data. Now I'm going to insert a few data here. So I'm just going to tell insert into the student information. I want to insert the name Anish, Rahul, Rohan and Dikshit. I'm passing some values, I'm passing some of the marks and passing some data here. So let me copy this. I'm just going to copy this. Now I'm just going to come back here. I'm just going to paste these values. What is not pasting paste? So I'm just going to paste. I'm going to use the delimiter. You can see all the 4 value got executed. Let's try how the data is getting stored. I just shall select start from the student, that is info, right? Student info. Whether the database name is correct. Let me check. What is the database? What is the database table? That is the student info, right? I'm just going to use the student info. I want to select all the data in the student. You can see same data got inserted 1 2 3 4 5 and student code is there, student name is there, subject is there, marks is there, phone number is there. Let's try to see whether this data got inserted, the trigger data got into a student table or not. Okay, the student table, let's try to see. So now I'm just going to tell select start from the That is what I want to just select start from the student details table, which is our table, that is trigger table. So if I just execute, you can see whatever the data is stored into a table, that is a student info, the same data is being stored into the student detail as well. That is how. So now see, by chance your data got deleted from here, you can able to see the data into a student detail. So it is something a backup of your data. Action is happening, some action happened after the insertion. Along with that, see, when it is inserted, even that is the something we are going to keep track, that we are going some tracking here. I'm just going to keep some tracker that is going to keep a track when it is inserted. It is stored at the 10:30 p.m. So it is whatever the time is here right now, same date it is just taken, and all the data has been saved. Same way you can store the date as well. Okay, even you can create one more action. You can tell there is one more action. The action happen inserted. Even you can keep what is the actions perform, like that. Okay, so that is what is been mean by what the data, that is about the all about our MySQL after insert. So this will be our the MySQL after insert trigger. So we done with the before insert trigger and we done with the after insert trigger. So let's do it for the next two, that is for the update and the delete. Then we are going to wind up this course. Okay, so along with that I wanted to teach you the store procedure as well. Okay, so I'll just give a glance at on the store procedure, then we are going to end up this course. Okay, so I hope you are enjoying a good time. So if you are tired, just go have coffee, have a tea, and come around. Say there will be a video. It is not going to go anywhere, so you can just watch whenever you like. Okay. So I'm going to tell MySQL before update now. So now I have same thing. I want to apply for the before update. So the syntax will be said is something like before updation this trigger should happen. Okay. So yeah, that is something like before updation the trigger should happen. Same thing we have to the same create trigger name we have to give, and I have to tell here before update something should happen on table for each row, and to specify, and I need to specify the body of a trigger. So here, so I'm going to create it. So something they have a delimited, same thing we have used, but everything is same. Just the thing is going to change the before update. So previously it was after update, after insert. Now it will be before update and a before insert. Okay, same thing. Restriction, we cannot update the old values. Basically we cannot update the old values here before updating it triggers. Then he is telling we can change the new values, whatever the new values will be, that we can change it, but we cannot update the new values. We cannot create a before update triggers on a view. So let's try to create this example. Let's try to create this trigger for. So I'm just going to create this particular new table. Okay, something is happening here. Okay, so now coming back here, now I'm just going to come back here. So let's try to create a new table, that is also where we stopped. So we doing insertion happened. So now let's try to create a new database table, that is a sales info. So we are creating a new database table that is having a sales info, and I'm going to tell ID is auto increment mode. Okay, so that is, and product is a where character, it cannot be null. Quantity will be a not null value, default will be 0. There is a something we have given as a fiscal year. So the sales that will be a small integer value, and it cannot be null. We are giving some small int. So same we have big int and int we have. So this is a data type small int, going to store small values. Check, I'm going to check one condition for the fiscal year. So we have never seen check, right? So check is something we are going to check something. Whatever the fiscal year is there, it should be between only 2000 to 2050. The value which you are storing into a fiscal year, that should be only between 2000 to 250. That is the one thing. And checking the quantity should be at least greater than 0. Okay, what I am checking one more condition, whatever the quantity will be there, whatever you are passing, that should be at least greater than 0 when you are inserting it. If you're not inserting it, it will be a 0. Okay, default. Unique is something, product will be the unique name, and even the whatever the fiscal year will be there, that is we are specifying it should be unique at the time of passing it. And primary key is we are specifying for the table, that is ID. So now I'm just going to Control C, I'm just going to create this table. So now I'm just going to come here, just going to paste it here. So query got executed over here. Okay, so now if I just show you the the structures of the sales info, if I just show you the structure of the sales info, you can able to see here. You can see ID is a primary key, product is here, quantity is there, and fiscal is integer, and you can see null, it cannot be null, and default value will be the null over here. Okay, so like this has been specified over here. Next, coming back here, now I want to insert few of the data. Let's insert this data. So whatever the data is there, I'm inserting some product name. So 2003 Maruti Suzuki, and the quantity is 110, fiscal year is a 2020. So I'm just going to change it here. I'm just going to change it to 2023. I'm leaving in 2023, right? So I'm just going to leave it in the 2023 year. So let's insert this particular data. I'm just going to copy this. I'm just going to come here. I'm just going to right click. I'm just going to save it over here. Okay. So it got inserted. So if I just tell here, select star from sales info. So just we created a table and we have inserted the data. So we have created a table, we have inserted the data. So you can see all the data has been stored over here. Okay. So now if I insert, let's try to insert. I want to insert one data and check. So what is the data I want to enter? So insert into a sales info, product, quantity, and fiscal years. Okay. So the values I'm going to give it here. Values. I'm just going to pass. What is the value? Product, right? I'm just going to pass 2025. Bruno. Something I'm giving. Okay. Then I'm going to pass quantity. Quantity I'm just going to give it as a 150. So I don't know, quantity is the data type. What is the data type of the quantity? The quantity is an integer, right? So yeah, so I'm just going to 150. Fiscal year I'm just going to tell here as 290. I'm just going to give 2990. If I just try to execute this data, I'm getting error. You can see I am violating the thing. I'm just going to violate the some specific constraint. It is telling me sales info check has been performed. You cannot insert the 2900. It should be the value between 2000 to 2050. Okay, that is also we saw here. Okay, next, that is one thing. So now let's try to add a trigger. So that is a before updating of trigger. So now before updating a trigger, what is the trigger updation before? So that is I have said here. So before updating a trigger, you had to perform some specific task, bro. Okay, so it is telling begin. So they are declaring one variable. So they are declaring a variable that is a error message, a column name that is a var character of 2255 is there. So they are declaring a variable that is a error message. It can hold up to 255 character. They are setting one error message. They are using a set error message. They are creating one variable that is a error message. Whatever the variable we have declared, they are setting that value to this particular value. Okay, this is something new which we are seeing right now. We are declaring some column, then they are setting some error message to this particular data. Then he's going to check whatever the quantity is there, whether it is greater than old quantity of 2 times. What? So before updating, that means what I'm trying to say here is, suppose I want to update 2015 Avenger car quantity to 300. They are checking one condition before updating. They are checking if whatever the update quantity is there, if I tell here 200 it is going to accept. If I say it here as a 300 means 120 into 2 how much? 240. I can update the value between 240 itself here. For 150 I can update the value between 300 itself. I cannot go beyond that. Okay, so that they are going to specify one condition. Whatever the new value is there, whatever the old value is there, that is 120 or 115, if I multiply the two things, whether that particular value will be greater than the new quantity. Yes, if it is there, then I'm just going to say, I'm just going to set some SQL state to 45,000. I'm just going to specify some state for it. So that is basically, I'm just going to tell, I'm just going to perform one signal. I'm just going to give the signal. The signal code is 45,000. So then they are going to set the message, whatever the message is there, whatever the error message they have set, the quantity cannot be greater than 2 times of the current quantity. This condition matches, this is going to give us the error message. Okay, so some trigger is going to happen. Some trigger is happening before the updating a value. Okay, so that is what the thing has been there. So that is what they are specifying it here. So I'm just going to copy this delimiter. Okay, from here, right? So you can say I'm just going to copy the delimiter. I'm just going to copy it, control copy. Here I'm just going to right click. So not happening. So I'm just going to say here, so whatever the delimiter is there, I want to specify this particular trigger. Now I'm just going to copy it. Now I'm just going to right click, delimiter happened. You can see the particular query got executed. So now after executing it, let's try to update the data. Now I want to update this data for the whatever the ID is 2 is there. So whatever the ID is 2 is there, so quantity is 120, right? Now I want to update with this data. I want to set the quantity to 125 whose value is 2. So if I do this one, anything happened? Nothing happened. Basically it is going to perform the data. Let's select star from sales info. If I say here like that, it is going to see whatever the value was, ID was 2, the value quantity got updated to 125. That is working. Same thing if you have done, if I say make it to 4425, I am getting the error. You can see the error 45,000 is been set. The signal is been set to 45,000, and it is going to give me the message. The new quantity cannot be greater than 2 times, bro. The current quantity, it is telling me whatever the trigger you have specified here, right? That is going to tell it cannot be the 2 times of the current quantity. So this is all about the before update, the sales info. I hope you would have understood here. Okay, so now same, let's see, is all about the thing I have specified. Now let's see fatafat what is the after update trigger. So what is the after update, like what is, how exactly the after update trigger works. So it is something like after trigger is basically after the first I want to update something, then I need to apply the trigger. Okay, so that is the one thing, that is what it means. Okay, so let's try to see with the example. So let's try to create a new student, a new database table that is a student. I'm just going to copy it. I'm just going to come here. I'm just going to right click. So right click is bro, right click happened. It is got created, whose has a name, ID, class, email ID, and primary key. That all things you know. I'm not going to tell a lot of time. So we are inserting few of the data. Let's copy. I'm just going to insert the few of the data. I'm inserting the value. Let's tell select star from, that is students. So I just enter it. You can see we have a name, ID, class, and we have an email ID. We have Stephen, Bob, Steven, Alexander. Fine, bro. Now let's try to create a new logs. So I want to create one new table. So basically after, whenever we use a after, whenever we are using after something, basically we are going to store the same data into some other table. We are reflecting whatever the data is happening into the previous thing. That thing I want to just store it into some separate table along with the action what is happened. So that is what we are going to do it. So now try to insert a new table. So I'm just going to create a new table, a table name called students logs. I'm maintaining a student logs. So whenever it got created, I want to create a user whose username should show, and I'm just going to create one description. So something I'm just going to store it. Some user got inserted, something like that. Okay. So I'm just going to create it like that. Now I'm just going to write a trigger for it. So what will be the trigger? I'll tell create a trigger name. We are saying after updation of the student. Basically, it is a trigger name. Okay. This is a trigger name we have kept after update on students for each row. I'm saying whenever this trigger happens, I am just going to insert the same values into the new database table. I'll tell insert into the student logs. I want to insert all the data into the student logs. Values will be the user. I'm just going to pass the user over here. It means what? So basically whatever the user will be there, so for that particular we are passing it. I'm just going to concatenate. So we are using concat, means it is going to concat the this particular data, something like it will be like update student record. Basically it is going to store regarding Leslie, it is going to store this update student record, comma, it is going to store the old name. Old name means once the insertion happen into a table that is a student logs, that is in a table that is a student, there will be something called it as a old names, right? That it will be treated as a old name. Whatever the old name is, that just going to store this one. And I'm just going to tell, after I am going to say again one more thing, that should be it should just store this much value from here to here. It should store. So we are using concat first, where it should store this much, then along this it should attach this data. It will be like previous class old dot class, that is present class new dot class. So let's see what is this. Okay, let's try to execute this particular query, then we can able to execute neatly, can understand it. Let's try to understand this one. So this is got inserted, right? So some query got inserted. Now if I just select star from, select star from students, you can say I'll be having this data. So what is the old name? Stephen, Bob, Steve, Alexandria. Let's try to update the data. Now I want to update the data. Now I want to say update the student, set class is equal to class plus 1. So I'm saying, I'm just going to say whatever the student is there. So we have a student class, right? I want to update the student class to class plus 1. I want to update the class plus 1 basically. So I'm just going to update this data. So whenever I update it, something will happen. Whenever, see, after updation means it is going to after update. After updating, it is going to run this particular query. Let's see what it is going to run. I'm just going to run this query. Query got executed. Now if I just tell select star from student, the same thing, you can see the class name would have updated. You can 6 is been changed to 7, 7 has been changed to 8, 8 has been changed to 9, 7 is been changed to 8. All the things happened. Yes, our trigger got executed. Our trigger got executed. Definitely our trigger is got executed. Basically according to this particular syntax, our trigger got executed. How to check trigger executed or not? I need to just check the student logs. So I'm just going to tell select 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 star from student logs. If I enter, you can see I got it. You can see for the user, who is the current user is there. Who is there? I'm logged in with the root user, right? The root user value has been stored. Basically, I'm updating it. Suppose some fellow in my database comes and execute. Later, if he hacks, his particular names is going to store it here. Okay. Description is there. So let's see. It is telling me update the student record Stefan. Stefan got executed. Previous class was 6, the new value has been changed to 7. You can see new value has been getting changed. What is mean? Update the student record old dot name means whatever the name is there already stored, that is going to store. Then here I am telling previous class was old dot class itself. Old dot class means old value was going to store here, and the present class is new dot class. New classes means whatever the new value he inserted at the time of the updation here, that is a class 1 plus 1. Whatever, whenever I updated this data, whenever I'm updating all the classes, then what happened, this particular trigger got executed for every person. It is going to incremented with the 1, and it is going to tell present class was changed to 7 new value. So new value means the value which you are passing when the updation. Old value means the value which is already present into the data, that is in the database table. That is what about the old value has been going to tell. Okay, so that is what about the things. So that is what about things we have been specified here. So let's see onto the delete trigger. So fatafat, let's try to complete within 10 minutes. Okay, so here before delete trigger in MySQL involve automatically whenever a delete operation is fired. Basically, whenever you are applying for a delete operation, it is going to work, and we are going to learn how to see this. So basically, the syntax will be the same. So the create trigger names, and before delete we have to apply the before delete or after delete. So same things will be coming. Okay, restrictions are there. Let's see with the example over here. Okay, so we are at the end of the thing. So here coming back here. So let's try to create a new database table. So we are saying, so that create a table that is a salary table, it should be there, and we are going to create an employee number that will be integer primary key, valid from a date. We are going to give a date field, then amount we are going to pass, so that should be in the DEC. What is meant by DEC? Let me check. DEC in SQL, DEC in SQL. So DEC is a stand for decimal value, okay, equivalent to this particular. Okay. So DEC is something like a decimal. It can hold up to 8 value, and it can be 2 decimal point. Okay, and not null will be the default, so it will be this one. Okay, so something even I got to learn new something today. So if I just right click, if I just going to paste this data, bro, what is this happening, bro? I want to, okay, I'll just so basically delimiter is being used. Okay, I'll just, if I just press control C, it will come out of the loop. Okay, so I'm just going to come out of the loop. Now I'm just going to copy this thing. So I'm just going to right click, data got created, the salaries got created with this data. If I just tell here DESC of the salaries, you can see here. So I'll be getting a salaries data here. Okay, so all the things will be coming. So the primary key is there. So now we are inserting some of the values, that is salary. We are going to pass employee IDs, then we are going to pass salaries, and we are going to pass something valid from. So I'm just going to make this, I'm just going to change this 2022. So let's make it as 2023. So valid up to this much. So if I just copy this data, if I just come back here, if I right click, the 5 record got inserted. If I just select star from the salaries, if I just select star from the salaries, I'm getting all the data from the record. It is salary, that is employee number, a valid from, and amount. So now something is something, I'm just going to create one more table to store it. Okay, we're going to create one database table, call it as a salary achieves. Okay, so where integer value will be the C, and you can specify in this fashion also. This is something which you are learning new thing into this. So that is ID we are specifying, that is will be the integer, that is of the primary key, auto increment mode. Everything I'm just going to specify into a single line. Employee number will be the integer value from the date, and amount will be the decimal point of 18 to 2, not null of the value. So deleted time will be taken. So when if I delete any data, automatically a trigger is going to happen, and it is going to store all the old values. Along with that, it is going to store the which time it is going to get deleted. Till default will be the now, whatever the now value will, whatever now exact time will be, that is going to store it. Okay, Control C. I'm just going to run this query, execute it. Query got created. Okay, so this query got created. Now if I just tell here show tables, you can see a lot of tables got created. We have created for each and every for a number of tables here. Okay, so tables got created. Now coming back to your delimiter here. Okay, so now we are going to write a query. We are saying whenever I delete, before deleting it, I need to secure my old data. Okay, before I delete some record by mistake, I can retrieve basically after that. So to retrieve it, we need to have some data, right? Logs. So as saying, before deleting it, just please store the value into some other table, then you apply this particular trigger. So that is what we are applying, a trigger basically. I'm saying applying delimiter. I'll tell before you delete, apply this trigger. Before you delete on salaries for each row, I'm just going to this salaries a table. So I'll tell you have to insert into a table, that is a new table, that is the salary achieves. So here we have to tell what we have to store the employee number with valid date, and I want to store the amount, and I'm just going to store whatever the old dot employee number values is there. So whatever I'm telling old dot emp number, right? It should be something like this. Okay, whatever the old dot emp number is there, I want to store it. Along with that, whatever the old dot valid from data is there, so whatever the old value will be there, I'll be going to store it here, and old amount is there, I'm just going to store it here. Okay, so that is what we are going to say it here. If I just right click, if I just control C, it is executed. Okay, query got executed. Now let's try to delete some data. So if I just tell here select star from salaries, if I just tell select star from the salaries, you can see I have a salaries. If I just tell here delete delete from the salaries, SALARIS salaries, so let's tell delete from the salaries where the particular emp number is there, that is equals to, it is suppose if I am going to delete 103 data, if I want to delete this data, it is deleted. If I just tell I want to delete same thing, I want to delete one more data, that is I want to delete a data 105, deleted. I want to delete a data, that is 107, deleted. So we have, now if I just try to select star from salary, you can see only 2 data is there. Now let's see whether the trigger automatically applied it or not. So for that, if I just tell select star from, that is a AVG salary, right? So we have created, that is yeah, salary achieves, right? I'm just going to copy this, I'm just going to right click, let's see whether I can see. Yes, you can see that's something great, right? So we are storing, like before deleting it, you can see it is going to store the old values, whichever the salary employee number is 1035, whatever the amount was there, everything is getting deleted. You can see telling it is deleted at this particular time, and it is going to store it here. That will start from the salaries achieves over here. Okay, so this is how the things is going to work. So it is all. So now let's move on to the next topic, that is create a table salary. So we have all those things. So now let's try to create one more new table for the one more that is after insertion. Basically I want to apply a after delete. So we saw now before delete, let's see what happens for the after delete. So for that, let's try to create one more new table, that is total salary budget. So let's create this new table. What happens, let's try to see. Copy, and I'm just going to paste it, that is so it is telling, okay, wrong, I have not copied wrong data, so I need to use this one, right? I want to just control C it. So I'm just going to create a new table, that is a total salary budget. It is going to store the total budget of your table up to 10 particular length and up to 2 decimal points. That is what it means. Now let's try to insert the data. So it's like insert into the total salary budget, total budget, select sum of the amount from the salaries. Basically what happens, what is mean by this? It means like I am inserting some data here. So basically it means like I'm inserting a total, I'm inserting the values into this particular table, that is into a column, that is a total budget. For this I want to store the value, right? So I'm saying select sum of the amount from the salaries. Whenever I run this particular query, what happens, you know, it is going to return me the total number of sum, that is 85,000. So it means that particular value it is returning, that value it is going to get passed at the time of here, that is going to store it. Now if I just copy this, now if I just tell here, if I just run this query, if I just tell copy this, you can see record is stored. Now if I just tell here select star from the total salary budget, so that is budget, right? budget budget, you can see this total budget is 85,000. whatever the return value was there, that is got inserted into a new value. So it is what thing happened. Same thing, let's try to apply some query. So I'll tell create a trigger after the deletion. You had to apply some after delete query on salaries for each row. Begin. So it means we have to update a total salary budget such the total salary budget should be equal to this one. That means we are creating a trigger after delete the salary. So after deleting it, I'm just going to create a trigger after delete salary. Basically I'm saying we have to apply this particular trigger after delete on the salaries for each row. So it means begin. update, I'm going to update the total salary budget, set the total salary budget equals to, I want to see what is the total budget currently, then I want to minus that particular value with the old dot amount, whatever the old value was there, that I'm just going to update it, that update to the old value with the total budget which is present. Okay, so that is what we are going to apply delimiter. Now if I just copy this trigger, if I just the thing got applied, so we have error. Where is error, bro? So where is error? Okay, so let's create a critical time on delete after this one. Okay, begin update the salary is equal to set this string with the old dot amount. Okay, update it, correct, it is there, right? So let me copy this again, let me try to run the, okay, I'm having error somewhere. So here you can see after begin now. Okay, here it is giving me the error, so it is going to give me SQL. We have a line number 5, line number 5 I have an error, so line number 5 is basically, I'm just going to give it like this. Okay, old dot the amount. If I just save it, so if I just come back here, so if I just come back to the top thing, you can see the things was correct. Okay, end is there and insert values, everything is there. Okay, so let's update the particular this thing, set these things to this one. Okay, so I think I need to give the from here, so I need to give the from or not, I don't know, on salary. So end is there and we are starting here, right? So let me copy this and sorry, so if I just come back again, let me try again. Okay, if I just enter it, so can see now it got executed. Okay, so we have given I was giving this delimiters because of that this was getting it. Okay, so let's copy properly, so I see it got affected, delete salary got affected. Now let's try to delete the salaries. So let's try to apply all the queries at once, or okay, again sorry, I'm just going to use one more thing. If I try to say delete star from the salary where employee number is equal to 105 and that's going to delete it. So after deleting it, if I just try to execute, so we have to execute with the dollars here. Okay, $2 enter, query got executed. So it is executed because for the next one it is giving me the error. So after deleting it, if I just tell here same thing, that is a select star from, okay, select star from the salary, total salary budget. If I just give it $2, so what it is giving, total budget is a 8, old value is going to store it over here. Before deleting, whatever the old value will be, that is going to store. So now if I just say again select star from the, that is what is doing. So if I just tell delete from salaries, I'll just tell delete from, what is the delete from salary? If I just enter this command, what happens? 2 rows got deleted. Now salaries got deleted. Now if I just tell here select star from salaries, what will be the salaries? Basically you can see it will be a empty set. Basically all the data gone. Delete from salary means all the data gone from the salary. Now if all the data is gone, right, before applying a delete operation, what it does means it is going you to update the total salary budget. Whatever the old budget was there, that is going to set it with the, it is going to minus with the total budget. That's it. Okay, whatever the total budget was there before, with that whatever the old value is there, that is going to minus with that and it is going to give it. Now if I to enter the same thing, it will should be the same budget as 85,000. So you can see now whatever the old budget was 85,000, right? So first you saw here old budget was stored here. Now when I deleted again, new budget was this, old budget was this, again the new budget was also same. So old minus new, it is going to give you the total budget as 0 over here. So all the total budget is 0 now. So all the data got deleted and all the things is coming over here. Okay, so like this the delete also is working. It's not like even you can apply the same delete form here as well, updating, deleting, all those things. Okay, so it's your choice where exactly you are using it. So it is what about the SQL here. So we saw a lot of things here. So we have seen almost a number of things over here, okay, in the SQL. Hi guys, welcome back. So let's move on to the procedure, that is a stored procedure into MySQL. So I'm just going to scroll down. In the last we have completed the triggers, right? So it was very fun doing that particular concept. We saw a lot of things like complete about the triggers along with the examples and all those things. So now let's move on to the concept of stored procedures. Okay, so what is stored procedure? So stored procedure is something, a procedure where we are going to create it. So it, rather than calling n number of time all the things, whatever the query I want to get executed on some particular action, so what we are going to do here is we are going to store that particular thing into one procedure. So whenever it is needed, we are going to call the store procedure, so the query will get executed. So let's see with the technically. So what it is, so here you see a stored procedure is a prepared SQL code you can save so that code can be reused over and over again. Okay, so if you have a query, SQL query that you have to write over and over again, so we'll be using a concept of stored procedure, we'll be saving into it, then we are going to call it when, and it is going to get executed. Okay, so here if you call the, you can also pass the parameters to the stored procedure. So basically we are going to pass the parameters along with that, like basically in parameter, out parameter, and in and out parameter to a stored procedure. Okay, so the syntax will be something like this. So we know the delimiter, we are going to use delimiter / array and percentage symbol. Then we are going to say create a procedure. So then we have to give the what is the procedure name basically, and it is where the procedure will be, might be a in procedure or a out procedure or in out. So I'll tell you what is these three things, and we'll be having a parameter name. So we'll be going to declare one parameter name, that's basically a column name something, and we are going to initialize data types for it, and what will be the parameter data type for it. Okay, so then we are going to begin with that, then we are going to write the query declaration section and the executable section, then we are going to end the procedure. So that's very simple. So let's see with the example here. Okay, so here in MySQL procedure they have a three modes, that is in, out and in out. So what is in? In, it is a default mode, it takes a parameter as an input. Basically it is going to take a parameter as an input, and it is a default mode as well, such as an attributes. So when we define it, the calling the program has to pass an argument to store the procedure. So whenever we call this thing, so we have to pass at least one argument to call the stored procedure. The parameter value is always protected. Whatever the value we are going to pass, it will be protected. So it will be the in, that is something but an input. Out is something like an output. So it is used to pass a parameter as an output. It value can be changed inside the stored procedure. So whatever the output value will be there, it might be changed inside the out procedure, and can change the new value is passed back to the calling program. So whenever we call it, it is going to call, it is give us the new value might be. Okay, so after performing some of the SQL query, it is noted that the procedure cannot access the out parameter initial value when it starts. Okay, it's telling that it is noted that a procedure cannot access the out parameter value when it is start. We cannot access the out parameter value, it is just saying. Let's see with the example, so clearly we can understand it over here. So it is in is input and out is input. So in out here, so it is a combination of in and out parameter. It means the calling can be passed the argument, and the procedure can modify the in out parameter and then passes the new value back calling to the program. So let's see the definition, let's see the coding part here. So let's see how to call the procedure. Basically can use to call the statement to store procedure. The statement returns a value is called in the inner parameter, it is in, out and input. So I can say the simple word that something, a function which is going to give you some written value to it. Okay, so it can be anything, and the call we have to say something like call the procedure name. So we have, whenever I want to call the procedure, whatever the procedure we have to create it, we have to say call, and we have to pass the procedure name along with the parameters which is going to take it. Okay, that is what the things will be there. So here let's try to create one delimiter over here. So let's try to create this parameter. So if I just show you here, so that is something here. Yeah, so it is something we are creating delimiter. We are creating a procedure, create procedure, and a procedure name. So the procedure name is a get merit student. So basically if I just show you in the terminal, so we have a table that is a student info, right? So here we have a student marks 67, 87, 97 and 57. We are going to create one procedure that is a merit student who has got greater marks. So we are going to create a begin. So here we are not passing in, without in we are just passing it here. Okay, with just without a in out or in out. So the query is select star from the students where the marks is greater than 70. So I'll just tell where the marks is greater than 60. So whatever the marks is greater than 60, I want to get all those students. So who all this? So that we are saying the select the count of the student code. So I want to just we have a called as a student code, right? So I'm just going to apply a count. So count meant it is going to tell how many students are there, basically 3 or 2 or 4 as total student. So it will be giving as a total student. We are using aliasing here from the student info. We are running this particular procedure. So let's try to run this procedure here. So you can see the query got executed over here. So then now whenever we want to call the procedure, so what is the we have to pass? We have to call the procedure. So I can just tell call the merit student. I'm just going to call the procedure now. So how to call the procedure? So here I'm just going to tell call, what is the procedure name? Get merit student. So if I just call the merit students, you can see a procedure is going to call, and I'm getting all the students whose marks is greater than 60. You can see 67, 87 and 97. So here is a 57. Dikshit has got 57 marks. It is not going to give me, and it is giving me the what is the total number of the students present into the student table. You can see the total number of students are the 4 over here. So like this we are going to get the particular data into it. Okay, so this is how the output is been going to come. So whenever you call the get merit student over here, when we call the procedure basically, okay, so it is how the procedure is going to be there. So there is a simple example for the store procedure, something like we are going to call. So something we are going to call some particular table with some particular definition over here. So like that. Okay, so now you can see it got called the procedure which has all the student who is greater than 60, and it is going to return me one more query that is something like the call the merit student as well. So you can pass anything into the begin statement and you have to end it with the end statement. Okay, so let's see with the procedure with the in parameter. In this procedure, we have to use the in parameter as a var1. So we are using a var1 here of the integer type to accept a number. Okay, so we are using a variable called as a parameter variable 1. So the type, it is what we are giving a type is equal to integer. From the user, it body part fetches the record from the table using a select statement. Basically they are selecting a statement, and whatever the value we are going to pass, based on that particular value the store procedure is going to call. So let's see what is the they have given here. So this is the one thing, this is the second one. So they are said create a procedure. They are telling you get the student. It's telling procedure name is a get student. It is going to take an integer value, that is a input, that is a reason as a in. Then we are getting creative procedure, that is a begin. We are saying select star from the student, limit is equal to var1. Suppose if I just tell here 5, it will be like select star from the student info limit 5. It will be something like this. Then it will going to give the student count as a total student from the count as well. So let's try to run this particular query. We are going to run this query. So run this particular statement. If I just copy it, so you can see the query got executed. Now if I try to create, if I just call the student, so here you see I am passing 4 here. So the 4 is going to pass as integer value for a variable 1, and the variable 1 is going to pass here. It will be select star from the student, limit will be 4. Okay, so if I just call the student here, if I just call it here, so if I just call here student of 4, you can see it is going to give me the 4 student details. Okay, limit will be 4. If I just try to pass only 2, I want to just pass 2, can you see I'm getting only 2 students. It's so easy, right? So we have created a procedure. If I want to just do, I need to just pass one input changes, all the things is going to come. So you can see so easy, I can just do it. If I just try to pass something 8 which is not present, so whatever the total will be there, 4 only it is going to take. 8 limit means up to 8 data it is going to give it. Suppose if there is a thousands of record into my database, I'll just call on procedure, I'll just pass like call get student of 100 student, I want to get 100 data, is going to get it. It's so easy and it is so useful in the time of in our SQL part over here. Okay, so this is what the in parameter is been there. So let's see what is the out parameter. Okay, so out is basically for the output parameter, right? So in this procedure we have to use the out parameter as a highest marks of integer type. It body part fetches the maximum marks from the table using max function. See the procedure code. So let's see with the procedure code, we'll understand. Okay, even I don't care with the theory part. Okay, I just mainly focus on to the coding part. So then I'll see the theory part, what is it written. Okay, so like that. So here delimiter we have here, we have a create a procedure. We have to give the procedure name. So the procedure name is a display max marks. So it is going to display the maximum marks, that is going to give us the output. So they are using the out parameter. So the highest marks is a variable, they have declared it, and integer it is data type. Okay, so what happens whenever I call this procedure? Suppose if I just tell begin select maximum marks, means it's going to select the maximum marks into the highest marks. So whatever the marks you are passing, suppose you are going to pass the marks here, so from this it is going to select the maximum marks from the particular student itself. So let's see what it will be. So whenever I want to call, I'll be calling the display call max. So they are passing at the rate m. So what is this m? What is this m? Okay, let's see what is this m. M is basically a label name, they are passing it. Okay, something like label name might be, they are passing it m. So select at the rate m it's m. So let's see what will be the output and let's understand what it is. Okay, I'm just going to first I'm going to write the SQL code for it. Okay, code it is created, you can see it's got created. Now they are saying call the display function. So let's see what it is, will be the output. So when I call the display max, I'm just starting at the rate m. So you can see one row got affected, it seems. Okay, so basically something got affected. So that is from the student info, right? So now if I just tell here select star from student, that is info, what happened? So here we have something. So basically the same things are there. Now what happens here is they're saying call the display max function at the rate m, they are passing it here. Okay, so let's see. If I just tell select at the rate m, so what is this? If I try to write this one query, select at the rate m, enter. So you can see I'm getting a 97 marks. So basically what happened here, I'll tell you. So what happened here is this query, whenever what is this procedure? It is a procedure which is going to give you the maximum marks from your thing. So whatever the maximum marks will be there, that is going to give you over here. Okay. So we are saying here as a procedure name, that is the name display the maximum marks. So they are giving as a highest marks integer here. So whenever it is been outputted, it will be treated as a highest marks variable. So whatever the things we are passing it here, so it is going to select maximum marks into highest marks. Into highest marks means it's basically going to take it as m. So that is basically it is going to take it as @m over here, and from the particular student info. Let's see, try to give some other things. So if I just tell, I want to just tell in the @s. So you can see I'm getting a null value here. So if I just try to call here I'm just going to call the procedure. So if I just tell @s, enter it. So now if I just tell here select @s over here, okay. So I'm getting as a 97. Basically, whatever the name you are going to, we can pass any name over here, @m, anything, whatever you are going to pass. Basically, it is just a label. It is displaying, you can see, and it is going to, this particular out is going to return you some of the value, basically returning an output for you. So the output value is got selecting the maximum mark from the student record, like that. Okay, so that is why it is been useful over here. Okay, so that is what about thing is here. So you can see here, that is what here it is written. It is going to fetch you the highest marks of the integer type. Its body part fetches the maximum marks from the table using a max function. That's it. Same thing, if you want, you can use it for the min as well. It is going to give the minimum marks from the that is a marks particular section. Okay, so that is what the thing. So you can see the column name of the marks we have specified over here as a highest marks is just a variable name. Whatever the variable name is there, that is we are not going to get. So whatever the things you are passing from here, that is going to be treated as a variable name over here. That is going to treat it in the symbol we have to specify. So coming back to the stored with the input parameter, in-out parameter. In this procedure, we have to use in-out parameter as a var1, an integer type. With the body part fetches the marks from the table with the specified ID and then stored it into the same variable. It is going to store it into some variable, that is a var1, and the var1 first acts as an in parameter, then it is going to act as a out parameter. Therefore we can call it in out parameter mode. So basically whatever the variable you are passing it, that is going to treat it as a in as well as out parameter. So let's see with an example. So here you see, so we are using a create a procedure. They are going to display one more. They are going to create a marks procedure name. They are going to create as a display marks. They are given as a parameter as a in out, and a data type is an integer, and they are passing a var1 over here. So they are passing some input here. So it is first what it is going to do. It is going to tell select marks into the variable 1. Suppose if he is passing as a 3, set @m to 3, they are passing as a 3. So 3 is going to pass here as a @m integer value. It will select marks into 3 from the student info, where the student ID is equal to 3. So like this it is going to treat it, and it is going to give us a result. Let's try to run this particular procedure. I try to run this procedure. If I try to run it, the procedure got executed. Now if I try to set the, now I'm going to set the value. First I'm going to set the value, then I'm going to see the output. So first we are giving an input. So the input I'm just setting @m to 3. So we are going to set @m value to 3 over here. Okay, so then what happened? So we have set the value @m variable is stored. So now they are passing that particular variable to the particular call program here. Okay, so we are going to call the procedure. So we are saying to call the particular procedure. So they are calling a procedure. The procedure name is what? A display. That is a procedure name is a display mark s marks. Then they are just passing as @m. You can see they are just passing @m to it. Okay, so once I enter, you can see one row got affected. So whatever we have set the value here, so once we have called the procedure, the value has been set. So now what that is the in is done now. So now if I want to select the m, so if I just tell select @m, okay, if I just run this, you can say I'm getting as a 97 over here. Okay, so here what happened here? So something happened here. So let's see what is happening. So let's try to see with this one. Basically the third data is something. If I just pass the student ID as a 3, we are passing a 3 as an input ID. So that particular data ID is a 97, right? So here what happened? So we are creating a display marks. So we want to display the marks for a particular student whose ID is equal to 3. So first we are going to execute the query whose ID is equal to 3. Then we are going to set it. Then we are going to output the particular data of it. That's it. That is what the thing is happening. Same way if you want to perform it here. If I just set it here again. If I just set it here, I'll just tell set something. I'll just tell set at the rate. I'll just tell set at the rate student is equal to, I'm just going to set it for 2 here. So you can see 2 got set here. So now if I just call the procedure, now I'm going to call the procedure. So what is at the rate, that is student. I'm just going to call the procedure at the rate student. Procedure got called. Now I'm just going to tell select. I'm just going to tell that is a select at the rate. I'm just going to select at the rate student. I'm just going to tell select at the rate student over here. You can see I'm getting a 87. So 87 is what? The marks of the student. Basically we are just selecting the marks, right? We are not selecting anything extra, everything. So you can see I got as a 87 now. So whose 87 marks is there? You can see when I given a student ID as a 2 now, so it is going to take the input, call the procedure. Whenever the out parameter works, it is going to return me the value, it is 87. So it is what about the in and out procedure. Okay, so it's pretty good. Even I got to learn something new today. So I just prepared it. I just tried to explain, and even I got explained with this. Okay, so that is how we can see. So how we can drop the particular procedure. So I can just give the procedure, that is a drop procedure and a procedure name. If I just run this query, so if I just run here, what is it? What was that? Drop procedure name. Okay, I'll just try to give it drop procedure and a procedure name, that is a display, that is a marks. If I just run, you can see it got removed. If I just tell show procedures, we can see if I enter, okay, it is not there. The command, if I enter this one, okay, there is no show procedure, like a show table. Okay, so like this we can drop a specific procedure as well. Okay, so that is what here. That's all guys for this video. I hope you would have understood a lot of things, and we saw the mostly important topics which is going to be asked in the interview, and it is going to help you into the projects as well. So if you're new to my channel, please subscribe to my channel, share with your friends, and I'll see you next time. Take care. Bye bye.